San Antonio's Sports Center.
Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals saw a flurry from Murray in the fourth quarter, scoring 23 of his 37 points in the fourth to take a 2-0 series lead against the Lakers. Game 2, Boston versus Heat, is tonight, with the Heat leading that series 1-0. You can catch it over on ESPN 1250 starting at 7. And Coach Popovich is expected to return next season, but does not have a new contract as of yet.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh, my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up,
Wake me up.
wake up.
Rob Thompson.
Ginobili the other way in transition. To the back with the left hand slam.
I want some nasty.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
How about them Cowboys?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellence.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
It's R&R in the morning, a Fix Your Face Friday edition. He's Rudy, I'm Rob, Easy E on the other side of the double pane glass, sitting comfortably at the front of a fine-looking weekend. Good games last night. Expect another one tonight. We'll talk some football.
Which one?
Today.
You talking about Panthers and
That's
Hurricanes?
isn't that still going on?
They're still playing.
7 periods later, the Panthers come out superior
That's
as they
great.
continue to lay waste to not only the NHL's greater teams, but the clock itself. My God, they played an 8-hour game last night.
I wonder how many pounds the guys that played the most minutes lost and how many pizzas they had to eat. Because it's legendary, stuff that they have to slam food during their breaks because it's so taxing.
I can't even begin to
I don't
imagine.
know.
And I know that
Is that good? Is that a good game?
I don't know. And I don't know what you do to fix it, though. You think, how grueling that must have been for everybody who participated.
Right.
But I don't know what do you do? Call it? Say, we'll pick it up again
No.
tomorrow? I don't
It's
know
not
how
like
you.
golf. Like, all right, it's dark.
So,
We'll come back and play 4 holes tomorrow. Like, you got to finish it. But I don't know if that quantifies it as a good game.
Oh, no. What's the longest game you've ever been to?
Been to?
Yeah, like where you got stuck. Like, we can't leave.
Oh, man. Maybe a triple overtime Spurs Memphis. It was like a triple OT. I was at that game. I don't remember if it was I wasn't playoffs. It was a regular.
But I mean, triple OT basketball is different.
No, see, I've never been stuck at a 39-inning baseball game or anything.
See,
like
I did. I got stuck with a youth group from my church at an Astros game back in the early 80s.
Oh, you couldn't leave because you had a bunch of kids with you.
Yeah, and like the bus driver Astros fan. No, I was a kid.
Oh, you were the kid.
So we went, I swear to you, I think it was like a 27-inning game. I don't know if we went and looked at the annals of Astros long games. I was at one of the longest, and we were there.
As a kid, though, did you enjoy it?
It was horrible. Are you kidding?
Oh, I thought as a kid,
You're
you're like,
out
hey,
of
this
money
is awesome.
you're out of money by the fifth. You've already spent every dime you've got. So
why wouldn't the damn bus driver leave?
I don't know. I just remember that was like
That's child abuse.
Well, honestly, I remember arriving home and like the parents. There's no cell phones back then, So we were arriving in the darkened church parking lot like at 4 a.m.
And your mom's like, where the hell have you
And
been?
all the parents could like totally jumping the youth minister. Like,
Morning,
man.
everybody.
So I know what it's like. You can't leave,
No.
especially at playoffs like that.
But no, I don't know what that quantifies as. But yeah, I wasn't watching it anyway, so I'm not going to bash them. I was watching Lakers and Nuggets like most of America.
If you ask Joe Mazzulla, the Lakers won 3 quarters.
Rob, leave the man alone. Damn, they did though.
They did. If we're quantifying what we've seen, of the 8 quarters we've seen, 6 of them have been pretty solidly Lakers won. Unfortunately, the L column is 0-2 as the Lakers go down yet again at a game where they could have won. I mean, I don't know how hard they wanted it.
Right.
They were just kind of there despite everything, all the heroics from Jamal Murray, who pulled a Jason Tatum and just kind of lit it up there in the fourth quarter in spectacular fashion.
It may be if they go on to get to the finals, it may be time to give Jamal the SS on his chest meaning superstar.
What do they call it? What was their? I heard some kind of nickname, the Blue Arrow, or some kind of weird.
Well, he shoots arrows when he makes threes, but I don't know.
But
he's Canadian, right?
Yeah, I think he is.
He's Canadian or something. He's not. I don't know how many more gold medals we're gonna win. All these dudes are from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm worried about our goal. He's Canada. Kitchener, Canada.
That sounds like Kitchener, Canada.
That sounds
like there's a bunch of people in red flannel and
it sounds like you learned to shoot real bow and arrow.
Like you needed to for safety, like
for food.
Son, you're gonna have to learn to shoot, or you're not gonna make it to the outhouse.
We ain't gonna eat. You better get out there and kill that elk. Or we ain't eating tonight.
You know, the idea of the European player, let's use this as a transition point. We're going to hear from the general manager of your San Antonio Spurs, Brian Wright. The afterglow interview, the post-draft, the night out, and everything that went into it.
Down.
And he talked about international players and
what they meant to the Spurs organization. Yeah. And, I mean, you just look around the NBA. Just look around the NBA. I mean, you know, two of them right now in this series that we saw last night.
So we don't often talk soccer news, but we got a couple things that are floating around.
There's two things, and I'm going to I'm probably going to boycott. I'm never going to watch another. I've only watched like 6
of the MLS games.
I'm never watching the MLS again.
Are you talking about what was said in San Diego?
Yeah, I'm not. I've only watched 6 in my whole life, but that's it. My max is 6.
It my San Antonio hanging out here? Or
yes,
is it,
it's because of San Antonio. I'm rocking with FC still. Shout out to SAFC. And I hope those guys get to the MLS. But just so you know, SAFC players, once you get to the MLS, I will never see you again. Screw the MLS.
I'm so glad I'm not alone here. I read this whole article and I read the speech that this I don't know who this clown is.
Yeah.
You know, when the SS&E, Spurs Sports and Entertainment, who 5 years ago was all in on MLS, if you're unaware.
They made Toyota Field able to transform into a bigger stadium for MLS purposes.
And then after dealing with the corrupt, mafia-laden MLS leadership, our former county judge, Nelson Wolf, walked away like those guys are a bunch of crooks.
Yeah,
I mean, so it is further manifested in what you hear in San Diego. Though Manny Machado got him a little piece of that team. So,
he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Good for Manny.
Yeah, good for him.
So I don't know, Austin. I heard the stadium's great. I've heard it's always sold out. I'll never be there, and I'll never watch you.
Too much green in that stadium.
I've heard it's really good atmosphere, though.
I'm kidding.
I've heard it's really cool.
I've never been a fan of any team that's in green. So it would be difficult for me to jump in on that boat.
So you hate Philly. You hate the Celtics.
I think a lot in line with me.
So do you hate the Dallas Stars as well?
I despise them, Rudy.
Okay, just making sure.
The fiber of my being.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
I mean, we're down Baylor. Don't even get me started.
Right. No. Now, forget all of that. Forget sports. How you feeling today? Day one of your class reunion started.
You got a whole memory lane began last night.
I'm wondering when are you going to tap out?
Dude, I got home about midnight.
And this was day one.
This was day one, and it was unintentional. I actually kind of, I knew that it was going to be a later evening, so I didn't drink as much. It wasn't like it was a drunk.
Where was this at last night? So where did the party start?
The whole thing is going to be the estancia. I like saying that. You go to the estancia to get some enchiladas. The estancia. It's the hotel right across from North Star Mall.
Gotcha.
It's had 100 different names. Lovely place.
Got you.
Hotel bar shuts down at 11.
Did y'all donate enough money where this was open bar or you had paid?
This was just kind of a
meet and greet.
Yeah, this was the organizing committee was kind of gathering together in preparation.
And you stayed till midnight, bro? 11, and then you got to get home, then you got to wind down.
Midnight before I got home because getting out. But yeah, there was just a few of the gathering. But the memory lane stroll.
You didn't remember legit. Of how many people there?
There, I knew all of them because we've been in correspondence in the prep. So there was one surprise visit. A dude, one of our guys that had been living in Arkansas. I literally hadn't seen the cat in 40 years.
Like literally
had not seen the cat
high school
since we walked the stage that night. And I have a feeling it's going to be like this tonight and tomorrow. And it's great hearing all the names of people I haven't seen in forever.
So it is cool.
No, I am very much excited.
On class reunions.
No, I'll be very honest though, and I need some help on this.
Okay, let's do it.
For those that have been to reunions,
okay,
and I'm not trying to be mean about this at all, but would it be wise for me to tell my wife not to attend at least one night? Because I
Why?
get the sense it's going to be a bunch of spouses kind of standing over on the side. You know what I mean? And because there's two nights to this. There's the bar night, and then there's the sit down night. And the sit down, wife will certainly be there. But last night there were two spouses that were there with the others, and
so this is the thing with that.
They're
Rob.
just kind of gone.
This is the thing with that, and this is my help, and y'all can help us out. The Kid Boss of Smoke Meat phone line 656-3776. I haven't been married as long as you, so there's still things that you're teaching me. But the one thing that I have learned in marriage is you got to let them make the call.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Because if I be like, hey, babe, it's not a spouse night, it's gonna be like, what the hell do you mean? So it's kind of one of those things like, babe, you want to go? And if she says, you know what, I was bored out of my mind last night, you go ahead, then you do it. It's got to be her call.
Because
I don't know much.
I have no problem with her going, but at the same time, it's going to be a rather social butterfly night. Now, on the other side of that, when I bring my wife places, she plays a very intricate role in my evening, because she is if I can't remember somebody's name, I give her the signal, the sign, the little touch the side of the nose, and then she'll dive in. Hi, I'm Kelly, and force the introduction and get the name. So I'm not embarrassed by not my wife.
We'll see.
After 30 years, we're really good at that.
So let's talk about class reunion rules. Is it okay to say, no, I don't remember you?
I don't know.
I think it is. It should be. Dude, it's 40.
It's been 40 years.
Like, I don't think you should be offended. I don't think anyone should be offended if I don't remember you.
I agree. There will be name tags, obviously.
Of course. I think
but
after 40 years, you should have your yearbook picture on like a sticker.
I've seen now. I don't know if we're doing that. I wasn't on the name tag committee, but I do know that there are name tags out there. And for the most part, I'll be honest, like the cat that rolled in yesterday.
Okay.
As soon as I saw him, I knew him. Right. It's a different version, but it was still him. So
you knew.
I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about the possibilities.
Okay.
And
so the other thing is, how do you end the conversation with the person that wants to catch you up on 40 years?
Oh, that is a good one.
You know what I mean? Like, because there's you care, but you don't.
I just don't have the time.
Like, I don't want to talk for 30 minutes. You know how hard it is to catch up on 40 years? Like, I'm a work the room type guy.
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm going to be working the room and seeing a bunch of people, I don't want to feel encumbered, and I don't want my wife to feel left out at the same time.
Right.
So is it okay to suggest, baby, stay home tonight? And
no,
and see that doesn't sound right. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I realized that the return slam was not going to be one I could hit back.
I don't know, but I mean,
because I just got.
Or you say like, babe,
this
is gonna be boring. Like, if I understand. But then they'll hit you with the, well, why don't you want me to go?
What, are you shaming me? What do you get? There's somebody you're looking to see.
Is your high school sweetheart gonna be there? Like, babe,
baby, we're 35 years away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
I guess you got to leave it up.
But I just felt bad for the cats that were sitting over the side last night.
So your wife didn't go last night?
No, she did, because she was like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. But she thought there was a group that we got, my clan was all going to be together. My old group. And there wasn't most of those guys. So, and she knows when we're that they just kind of get left, because we have to rehash the same war stories 1,000 times.
That you tell every time you see
Every time we get together. And for some reason, over the years, I have become a bad influence on people. And when they look back, they go, and Rob made me do that. I'm like, I did not make you do that.
So you were that guy?
I didn't think I was.
But you're finding out you did.
It seemed like half
ever
the
since
stories
that night, Rob,
I've
been drinking Jack Daniels.
Well,
ever since
half
that night
the stories,
with you.
Rob did what he does, and then, that's why we did that. Like, I did not put that in your mouth. I did not make you. You know what I mean?
You were that guy.
I was, yeah. And so I'm immediately.
You were like the movie Flight.
No, I wasn't.
You were Denzel's guy.
No, I was more like John Goodman.
Yeah.
No, I was not him. Not that at all. But I was labeled the bad influence. And like, my memory of that night was very different. So that's why you go to your high school reunion, just to see the clowns again and remember the stories of why you still laugh at guys 40 years later.
Wow, man. Catching up with some people been through 3-4 marriages, all types of stuff.
It's not going to be easy. We want to hear any reunion stories.
We need reunion rules and stories.
It's always interesting to find the ones that were became remarkably successful.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, there's going to be that story. I can't wait to find it because it's not me. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you've been pretty successful.
Well, I mean, the guys that like roll in and like
Yeah.
millions.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
they
that's
invented
different.
the paperclip after they like, you did what?
Actually, I invented the Slurpee.
Yeah,
You know what I
something
mean?
like that.
Yeah.
I hope there's a random millionaire that shows up that did something extraordinary over nothing.
My jet's still running. I'm headed to Dubai as soon as I
Exactly.
leave here. Yeah, there's at least one or two of those.
I
At
can't wait
least.
to find out.
Right.
I can't. West Campus Cougar class of 1983 gathering together this weekend. And by the way, just for those early birds out there, and we're old enough, we're all up.
Right.
They're having an all class get together at the 151 Saloon tonight, starting at 7.
That's a cool spot. You're gonna enjoy yourself.
I hear tell it's a lovely place to be.
Yeah, my buddy did a part of his bachelor party there, and I had never been. Pretty cool.
I heard there's some outside.
Yeah,
some outside.
again, if I can smoke there, I'll go there.
That seems like
So
that's
me.
one of the reasons we chose this.
Yeah.
So we will be out if we can't wait to see everybody in the from old Cougar land. Hey, coming up, it was a very good basketball game yet again.
Yeah, it was.
The Lakers, we can discuss if they're in trouble or not. They wouldn't tell you that. My goodness, they were in it to win it in both games. It just didn't come that way. We're going to look at the next couple of games and what did Denver do to overcome a shooting slump that, we've only seen twice so far in the semis. Only other guy went and got 50 the following. Hey, we're talking basketball. We're talking Denver, and we're talking with you. Hang around. We'll be right back. It's R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, today at 3.
Former San Antonio Spur and NBA champ Danny Green will join us on The Blitz at 4:30, talking NBA playoffs and Wemby. We'll talk Cowboys with John Machota from The Athletic at 5:30. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe, today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With summer savings at the Home Depot, we have laundry appliances that just fit. Fit your space, fit your needs, and fit your budget. Like a new LG laundry set with 6 motion technology, using different wash motions to get clothes cleaner. And sensor dry to automatically adjust drying time, all making laundry quicker, cleaner, and easier on your clothes. Save up to 30% on select appliances, plus up to $100 off select laundry sets at the Home Depot. Pricing valid May 18th through June 7th, 2023. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Smoker's Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Fully stocked to shop everything you need for your smoking needs under one roof. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. With 14 area locations, including the newest at Southwest Military in Roosevelt. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Attention, all San Antonio's premier card house. That's right, SA Card House, 281 North in Bitters. Clean atmosphere, inviting, top-notch, and the customer service is A1. But let me tell you what I love most about SA Card House. True story. Mondays and Wednesdays, I go out there and I get in the free roll. I'm not the best poker player. Matter of fact, I'm not experienced at all, but it doesn't matter. Whether you're the dealer or whether it's the players, whether it's the employees, they're willing to help you and willing to help you learn the game and make you get to the point where you can become a top-notch poker player. They got pros all the way down to the Rudy J and the Joes. Go and check it out yourself at sacardhouse.com. SA Card House is at Bitters and 281, and they got a full bar and a full grill with 3 5-star chefs. I've had just about everything on the menu. SA Card House is a private social club, but always accepting new members. Go and check them out for yourself, and they got the 100 May giveaway. sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Force, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Sadly, millions of pets are euthanized in America every year because the shelters lack the funding to care for them. We are better than that, my friends. I'm John O'Hurley, and I invite you to make an $11 monthly donation to the Puppy Food Bank. Your $11 donation will allow the Puppy Food Bank to direct ship pet food to San Antonio rescue shelters. To help save a pet's life, donate $11 today at puppyfoodbank.org, and they'll send you a very special gift. This pet rescue message has been brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
This is Tim Spence, and you're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to Friday. That's Rudy. I'm Rob. The RJ Ochoa show will start.
I don't know about that.
7:30. Make sure you're here with us. We are just an umbrella for a variety of shows, evidently. RJ will host his bit at 7:30. We're excited to see him here.
I'm wondering when you're going to have to pop that 5-hour energy. I'm thinking about 7:47.
We will see.
You're going to be ready.
Although I'm dealing with some other issues that might preclude the actual consumption of caffeine.
What was the meal?
I just had a hamburger. But, I've always been told, and it doesn't matter the hotel.
Okay.
It doesn't matter that you just, if you're ordering for room service or anything like that,
I got you.
Try to avoid fresh vegetables the later in the evening you go. I've always been told. Andrew Zimmern, my spirit animal.
As Tony Parker and Kobe Bryant famously got food poisoning at their hotels.
And it's just, some of that stuff is out all day. And the later you're going, when you order a salad at 12:45 at night, you got to figure that lettuce got there about 24 hours before.
And lettuce runs through you anyway.
So
you know what I mean?
have a feeling that I'm dealing with a little bit of that.
You'll be all right.
I'll be fine.
But if you just all of a sudden hear just
if
me.
You hear,
if it's just me,
you just hear a gurgle and a door close. You will have.
Rob had hotel lettuce.
You will have a pretty good idea what
this
happened.
Reunion is some solid content. I can't wait till Monday.
Man. The stories, that's another reason you might not want your significant other to come and attend your house, because the legend that you create after you leave the school is remembered in an entirely different way than you might have remembered.
Right.
It's evidently bad. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Lakers' plan was. We knew that they have had this roller coaster of good game, bad game, good game, bad game.
Mm-hmm.
But they managed to achieve success through that because their good games was in game one and they jumped on folks.
They would win. They beat Memphis game 1. They beat Golden State game 1.
So they did everything they could and they came up short. And I think yesterday they went into it in kind of like we're going to run about 75% and see what happens. And Hachimura, man.
What a waste. What a waste of a great performance. I mean, even at home, you can't count on him starting the game 7 of 7, 17 points in the first half. I mean, and then you go back to game 1, Rob, Austin Reeves, fantastic performance, wasted. Hachimura, fantastic performance, wasted. And then poor LeBron last night. I know people want to make fun of the guy, but to me, I'm not like 20 years, 10 finals. I got nothing bad to say about, Every now and then you're gonna step on the gas and it just ain't gonna crank. It's just not gonna crank. I mean, the poor dude is out. He was gassed. LeBron had his hands on his hips in the first half, mouth open. When you see an NBA player, the caliber of LeBron with his mouth open, breathing, yeah, them lungs are burning.
That's that mile high.
Yeah, the lungs started burning on quite a few guys, but especially LeBron. Especially when you talk about airballing layups and leaving layups short, that's just your mind being like,
true.
Your mind is saying, "Oh yeah, I got this," and then your body's like, "Hold up, bro. We did go full throttle on what was that Tuesday night."
So I picked the Nuggets. I felt like they were going to win.
You did.
This,
I picked the Lakers.
I'm sweatier now because I don't feel like that this is a bad. I'm not down on the Lakers as much as other teams are.
You shouldn't be.
Are.
It could easily be 2-0
Yes.
Lakers. It could easily be 2-0 Lakers. But the thing about it is, and the difference between Denver and the Golden State Warriors is their stars have showed up in the fourth quarter. Steph, I saw that when he tried to do the reverse dunk and, and he kind of slipped out of his hands. But Murray, it was Murray last night. It was Joker in game one. And I know that's why Mike Malone's a little bit frustrated because everybody's talking about what the Lakers can do. But at the end of the day, dude, the Anthony Davis saga, like, I get it for LeBron. No beef. I'm not going to make fun of LeBron. I get it. Like, it's a lot of miles on that car. The fact that Anthony Davis, if I'm not mistaken, he made it to the playoffs once with the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then he got to the Lakers in 2020. They made it. They made it all the way through in the bubble, but that was even a shortened season.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Like, there's not enough tread on that. There's not enough miles on his wheels for him not to be able to put together back-to-back games every other night.
I agree.
He has to be the worst conditioned superstar of all time.
Is he just?
I don't get it.
Is he just like I always felt like he had an old body. Even when he came out, he always played kind of stiff-legged. Always.
I don't get it, Rob. Like, I get if it was LeBron, if it was Steph, I'd be like, dude, those guys been, when you go to the finals 10 times, that's a lot of basketball you've played. I get it. AD, you never play 82.
You've had summers off.
You've only
forever.
been to like the playoffs 4 times. Like, you were only at Kentucky 1 year. You didn't start playing basketball for real. So why can't, does he eat McDonald's every night? Like, what is it? How can you not put together back-to-back games? Again, if this was every night, I get it. Every other night, you just don't have it. How?
He's certainly thicker, and you older you get, certainly you get thicker. But his frame has never been able to carry the weight that he's picked up after he got out of college.
The grown man weight?
Yeah, that grown man thickness weight that you just can't, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not as down on his, I think this is more about the rhythm of how the NBA season goes. And your body gets accustomed to day on, day off, day on, day off. And I don't think his body can just do it. And I think LeBron saw it too. And then you multiply it times Denver thin air and you get what you got last night. And
game one, they really had to exert a lot of energy just to get back in that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's difficult to ask either a bench player to come in and do that after 46 minutes in mile-high air. You could see visibly that the Lakers were gassed, and I don't think that the intent was last night to really effort to win the game unless it was possible late. But they played good enough.
But they did. It went down to the wire.
It did, and I think that. I think on two sides of this coin. One side is LA walked out of that building going, but for the narrative of this is very, very different.
Right.
Or they walk out going, you know what? We had every opportunity. I don't think there's any more tricks in our bag. We did everything we could. Last night they hung around, and then they had to exert a tremendous amount of effort late in the game. And I don't think that was part of the plan. I don't think they wanted to have to do all that they had to in the fourth.
And they also, it's tough for the Lakers when you only make 8 threes and Austin Reeves made 5 of them. Yeah. They went 8 for 30 from 3. It's going to be tough to win because the thing about it is they play inside out. So LeBron drive and kick, AD kick out. So that's they have to be making shots. But for Reeves, 2 nights in a row you get 20 from him. Then last night, Hachimura, you get 20 from him. It's tough to lose those games when your role players getting 20, and then Anthony Davis 4 for 15, LeBron 9 of 19, 0 for 6 from 3.
Tired legs,
just tired
legs, tired. But there is a benefit for being there, and when you can press the gas like Murray did in the fourth and get a response, to just kind of keep shooting. Let's hear from the head coach of the Denver Nuggets as he talked about his young star unleashing 23 there in the fourth.
But I love Jamal Murray. This is not just like I'm coaching him. We've been together for 7 years and been through a lot of ups and downs. And to see him back playing at the level he's playing at, the first thought for me is just tremendous pride and just so happy for him, because I saw the dark days coming back from the ACL. So for him to be here playing at the level that he's playing at is just, I'm just so happy for the young man. And he needs to continue to do that. Obviously our goal is not done. We have to win this series, and our goal is to win a championship, and he's going to be a big part of that.
One thing, and then I want you to play Malone mad about the media. One thing, and then this is because we are the home of the Cowboys. Jamal Murray tears his ACL. Denver sits him the entire season, including playoffs. Could have came back. So when we judge Michael Gallup last year, just know there's guys out there that tear an ACL, and it's a much longer season than football. You feel where I'm coming from, Rob?
Good point. I completely agree that
because we were hard on we were hard on Gallup. They keep that. Think about that. They gave him an entire NBA season plus the playoffs off after his ACL. So give Gallup this year.
I think that's a valid point. I really do, because they treated him like a superstar with kid gloves, and Gallup didn't get that treatment. Get your ass back on the field.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. But Malone's kind of mad at the media, Edwin. What did he say?
Before we play this,
go ahead.
How it amazes me. It amazes me in every sport, in every year, that players will buy into this. That they will buy into their coach saying, you know what's going on outside of this locker room? They don't respect you.
Yeah.
What?
It's real.
What?
We did it for 20 years, Rob. No. We in San Antonio, well, the fans did. The fans, we never thought we got our just due.
Well, no, that's us as fans.
Right.
That's not player. That Pop did not walk in and say, you know what, Tim Duncan? The whole world thinks you suck.
I bet he did.
Oh, man. I bet he tried. And Tim went, yeah. And I'm going to go play, but it ain't because of that. It always amazes me that people will buy into the us against the world, we get no respect line, but it always works. And this is Malone reinforcing the fact that no one gave Denver a chance, and we won't even talk about their success.
I think a lot of our guys, to be honest, they may not admit this or not. You win game 1 of the playoffs, and all everybody talked about was the Lakers. Let's be honest. That was a national narrative. Was
the Lakers was Jokic triple-double.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No one talked about it. Nikola just had a historic performance. He's got 13 triple-doubles now, 3rd all time. What he's doing is just incredible. But the narrative wasn't about the Nuggets. The narrative wasn't about Nikola. The narrative is about the Lakers and their adjustments. So, you put that in your pipe, you smoke it, and you come back, and you know what? We're going to go up 2-0.
Do you think that narrative changes tonight?
Well, I don't care if it does. You know what I mean? Because we know our narrative in that locker room.
You clearly
We know
care.
that we're not done. We haven't done anything yet. All right, you got to win a game on the other team's home court if you really want to do something in the series. And we know how great that team is, especially on their home court. So we're not celebrating. This is not cause for celebration. This is a cause to continue to dig deep and find ways to be better.
Mike Malone, post-game.
Look, I think the Heat and the Nuggets are both in the same. I think they're both because the Lakers are the Lakers, the Celtics are the Celtics. They got 34 rings combined. Whatever the hell it is somewhere around there. Yes, that's gonna be the narrative. And it's not a narrative. And this the other thing. Malone's got to get his TV off of Get Up and First Take. Malone watches too much. Because remember earlier in the year, he was mad that people were putting down Joker. The only people that were putting down Joker was Kendrick Perkins versus JJ Redick. Mike Malone's got to stop watching folks so much First Take. Clearly, because if you watch First Take and Get Up, they have a job to do. They got millions of people watching. They have to figure out what the hit record is. And the hit record is the Lakers' faults, not Denver's great performance or whatever the case may be. Like no one cares about Denver. Everybody cares about the Lakers. So, Mike, If you change your television station off of First Take, you wouldn't feel that way.
I agree. I think, but it's also, I mean, that you open coach's manual.
Yeah, it is 101.
101. Say everybody disrespects you and no one cares. See if that sticks. And it's working so far.
It worked for Tom Brady.
It's worked for, I think it worked for just about everybody at some point. It just amazes me that everybody buys in when it matters, that they actually believe that. Hey, coming back with some news regarding the Spurs. Their current head coach is not under contract. The Spurs are coachless as far as contractual obligations.
Well, you kind of, that's
right now. He's a free agent. There is no contract for Greg Popovich. We'll talk about his imminent future and what the long-term looks like. And we're going to hear from Brian Wright, the general manager of your San Antonio Spurs. In the afterglow of the number 1 draft pick, he spoke to the work that went into it. And just after the top of the hour, we're going to get there. But coming back, let's hear from Pop, or talk about Pop and the potential of a new coach. A lot of them floating around out there. Hold on, Spurs Future next. You're on R&R, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
There was a flurry from Murray last night. 23 of his 37 points came in the fourth quarter as the Denver Nuggets take a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. Tonight, Game 2 from Boston between the Heat and Celtics, leading the series 1-0. Those Heatles, well, they're not the Heatles, but they're the Butlers. Yeah, let's start with the Butlers. You can catch that game tonight on ESPN 1250 starting at 7.
Isn't it nice to get exactly what you want? Introducing the new My Plan from Verizon. Control what goes into your phone plan and what stays out of it. And now, get the amazing iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch with Select Trade-In and Unlimited Plus. Get iPhone 14 Pro with My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line required. $200 Verizon e-gift card sent within 8 weeks with port-in. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions and additional terms apply.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found a great Prosecco for under $8, your favorite Cabernet, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
Hi, that's me. What can I help with? Oh, thanks for recommending that amazing French rosé. And I can't believe it was under $7.
I know, right? You can't beat that price.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Let's grab some more. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
I didn't think I could be any more excited for summer until my friend told me Kohl's has the lowest prices of the season. I went and got my whole family cute swimsuits for under $20 each. Luggage for up to 60% off. And an anti-gravity chair for the patio under $50. So watch out, summer. We're ready for you. Thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end May 21st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Great, it's yours. See you then.
Nathan's Tiki-themed bar is swimming in end-of-year party bookings.
Where can I find that many servers? They want headlamps? And I'm going to need to find a band.
He needs caterers to navigate the rising tide.
No, Mario, not your cousin's cover band.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonial.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you.
Top of the morning.
It's R&R in the morning, a Friday edition. We're glad you're with us today. I hope you were paying attention to the PGA yesterday. His name is Eric Cole. He's leading, well, not quite at the turn.
Leading.
He's got 4 holes to go, and those are the most difficult holes to play on the U.S. Open course.
DeChambeau leading the way, Rob, but, I mean, it's Thursday. That was Thursday. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's his name? What was his name? Eric Cole.
Eric Cole.
He went off this morning. I guess he lost a few strokes. But he had a hell of a day yesterday, playing off the Corn Ferry tournament, and a natty dresser on top of that.
That's, you know what? No, when, being on Instagram and, like, once, this, Rob, once you like something, then your algorithm changes, right? So I'll like certain golf shirts.
Oh, yeah.
But now, dude, golf fashion has come so far and it's so fashion forward now. Like, for a while, it was like, your Ben Hogan, regular collar, regular pants.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw Eric Cole, not only with the joggers, but he went with the high water joggers.
We could see his ankles.
I can see his ankles. Like, and I'm down. Like, golf shouldn't just be, Tiger and Jack. And there's nothing wrong with the traditional. I'm down with the traditional, but now you got these shirts with all types of designs and colors and stretchy material and different pants. And, remember my man Fowler went with the high tops and he had the joggers.
Oh, that's true, the high tops.
And then Ricky went with the straight brim, so it's gone even farther now, and I'm down. I'm here for it.
I appreciate the fact that it is now possible to wear golf attire to the office, and no one even bats an eye.
Exactly. Because before you'd be like, "Oh, did you play today? Are you going to play? Like, what are you wearing?" Like now, it's just like, "Oh, that's just a really nice shirt and some really cool pants,
really stretchy, comfortable pants that I'd like to wear
Dude,
all
those
the time."
Pants look comfortable,
man. The modern
microfiber
what's
stuff.
It called athleisure.
The modern athleisure. Oh, I like that word, athleisure.
Athleisure kind of fits, right?
Athleisure. Let's roll with that.
With stretchy pants is really all we're talking about. Let's be real. This is not news. It is coach of the Spurs. Greg Popovich is no longer under contract. His contract expired at the end of the year. Yeah. Now we know that doesn't mean much, and
why haven't they gotten it done, Rob?
I'm sure there's some framework, but yes, there is a question. No, I think there's reason to question. I mean, your head coach is not under contract. Now, we all know he ain't going nowhere. And I'm sure there's the frame of an ongoing contract in play. Kind of like, what was it? David had a deal. I'm always going to be top 5 or something like that, or top 3. I would imagine if I was Greg Popovich's agent, I'd have that built in. And I don't think the Spurs would have a problem. But it is worthy of conversation. And now, as Wemby is officially on the line, if not in the boat, it is time to talk about it. I mean, and when he does sign a new deal, it'll probably be a series of 1 years. I don't think if I was.
You think he's going to go month to month?
If
like
I'm
you're
the
like an end of
Spurs,
your apartment lease?
I don't know how you handle this, because even when this is all said and done, I'm pretty comfortable with the fact that Greg Popovich will be a part of the Spurs organization until the very end. So I don't know if there's a pot of gold waiting for him at the end of the rainbow that is partial ownership. I don't know which, if I was in the ownership group, I would probably think we could pony up a little bit to kind of set him aside and let him go down as not only the greatest, but also an owner.
I don't even know if he would want that, unless he's talking about, something for his grandkids, which, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but I'm saying, like, leaving it to them. Like, you think Pop even wants to be a part of a bunch of hooly-dooly dudes from Austin?
Well, yeah.
I don't even know.
I think he's closer in wavelength to those dudes than us, quite frankly.
True that.
But I also think that it's his mindset. I mean, Tim hung around like, dude, you don't work here anymore, right? I mean, we had.
He even came and coached with Pop for a year. Like, hey, man, come out. Why don't you come down here with me for a while?
It appears, that's the family mentality of the Spurs, and I can't imagine that he fostered that. And then when his tenure is done, that he just bails. But I do think that it is worthy of conversation, because if we are looking for long-term replacement,
okay,
there's a couple of dudes that you could go get right now that would fill the bill in a lot of people's eyes, and maybe not be the head coach, but the one in waiting. I mean, they're available.
Well, my choice is in Houston now. And I'm not running Pop out. I'm saying,
should be on the list.
That would have been my choice.
But Monty played a huge role when the Spurs, when he was here.
Do you want anything to do, and then I don't have anything against these guys, but do you want anything to do with Bud or Brett Brown?
No. Well, Brett's already kind of in the building, but I don't think he'll be our head coach. Okay. I don't think that's ever his intent, and I'm not sure he might ever want to be it. I guess you always want to be a head coach. No, I don't think Brett's future. Bud is not completely out of the question. I don't think Monty is out of the question at all.
As far as predecessor down the road, whenever that is.
Whatever that is. But what I'm saying is,
unless
right now, Monty's looking for a gig. That's what I'm saying. So you could go get him and hope that, it works out. Now, the coach in waiting rarely works out, but you could go do that, or at least make sure that when he does go sign a deal with somebody else, that he builds in a poison pill, a top 3 opportunity. Like, if the Spurs come calling, I get out of this contract kind of thing.
And even though we've watched this team and this coach for over 20 years, we still haven't learned that we really don't know. Like, everybody just assumes that Pop wants to be around Wemby and he still wants to do this for 3-4 years. To be honest, what I've learned over the years is to not even try and figure it out. I don't know if he still wants to coach. I don't know if I mean, it looks like because some days it looks like, oh my God, he wants nothing to do with this. And then some days he seems like he's ecstatic about this challenge. So I have no idea, because the assumption is, oh man, he got Wemby, he wants to coach another 3-4 years. Are we sure about that?
I have no reason to not believe that he does, but I agree, because because one, they knew that this day was coming, whether Wemby was going to be drafted or not, that the contract was going to expire. So obviously one of the parties planned on him not coaching again, or they'd have built in another year. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that the conversation has been had behind the scenes with Brian Wright and those in RC and whatever. Like, we know his contract's expiring next year, and the mentality of a team that's going to go out and only win 20 games for the greatest coach to ever set foot on the sideline, who knows what his psyche is going to be like at the end of this.
My only question is, anybody that's available out there, and you could throw in who you want to, Rob. You could throw in Coach K. You could throw whoever is out there that's available to coach, Rob. Who is better equipped to take a young team like this and a superstar talent like we think Wemby's going to be? Who's more equipped than Pop?
I'm not sure there is one, but if it is, it's somebody in college. Keep in mind, this is a team
really young,
11 guys under
23.
Under 23. There's a lot of skill development required. So the coach that I hire is a developmental coach first and an X's and O's coach second.
So you're talking about the guy that can relate.
Yes,
but you got to be able to coach too, though.
That's
You
what I'm
agree
saying.
with that, right?
You have more than that. Not just kind of coach. You have to be a fundamentals coach. You don't have to be an expert level coach. There's a lot of NBA coaches that can teach the skill, but they don't do that. They're working more on this is the game that was required, and you're going to do these 3 things for me. I don't give a damn that you can do other stuff. And I think that Pop's always been great about development. I mean, that's why we get mad at them. They spend time in Austin. And I would think the coach that they bring in would focus on development first and game X and O's second as far as getting the guy we want.
I looked it up. Well, I've heard the name, and there's someone brought up on the text message, Mitch Johnson, future coach of Spurs. He was he's been in Austin. He's been with the Spurs since 2016, and he took over Tim's spot when Tim left.
Yeah.
So he was a part of the G League championship back in 2018, the G League championship with Spurs guard Derek White. Now he's young.
And that's the problem.
He should, but what he shouldn't he be?
This is a lot to. No.
I mean, look at the NFL, Rob. You look at Kyle Shanahan. You look at McVay. What's my man LaFleur? There's a lot of guys 42 and under in the NFL, and it's working.
Well, the best thing that happened to Mitch was Will Hardy's success in Utah. Will Hardy left Pop's side and rolled into Utah and had a coach of the year kind of season.
Right.
So I think as far as we talk about player development, let's talk about Pop's staff development. So if they named Mitch Johnson tomorrow, the heir apparent, it wouldn't shock me a bit, and I would be fine with it. But do you really want to risk, and risk isn't a good word, do you really want to pair the greatest prospect in the history of the NBA with a rookie coach? I mean, I don't care who you are. Would you want to? Now, looking back, Pop was basically a rookie coach when he grabbed Tim. It worked.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, he played GM.
I didn't think about it from that lens.
So he stepped in with a lot of. Remember when they hired him? We were like, this guy was an interloper.
Well, he fired and hired himself.
Right.
So we were like, how
who
dare
is this
you?
guy?
Right.
And so history tells us that it will work.
Well, history tells us it can, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will.
So I'm glad who brought that in. I want to give them credit.
They didn't put
we don't have a name, but whoever
name.
texted our Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines insider, Mitch Johnson, is one of those guys that lays low, and I do think he's going to play a part in this. I still think Bill Self, I wouldn't put Jay Wright out of this equation at all.
Bill Self, Jay Wright, okay.
I think college coaches are appropriate for the kind of team that they're trying to put together and the skill development that's going to be
Bill
required.
Self's name been coming up over the years because of him and RC or real tight. Are they tight? Okay, they're cool.
It's the whole Pop too, the whole Kansas connection that all began with Larry Brown. There is a kind of a mutual respect between the Spurs and the Kansas Jayhawk organization behind the scenes. So I always felt like it was possible. I'm thinking it's less likely, but when we talk about the future, what do you guys think? 656-377-6656 ESPN. Should the Spurs be cautious and only offer a one-year deals?
Oh, I mean, and you know what though, Rob? When I think about it, and let's hear a little bit from Brian Wright. Who more pressure on Brian Wright or Pop? Definitely Brian, right?
Oh, absolutely. Pop's Teflon now.
He's John Gotti.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You call me out?
Well, this is the thing. Now, you and I can feel how we want to feel about Pop, but there's a section of Spurs fans that are ready for change. I've heard from them. I've heard from them, and it's not on a disrespect type level. It's just like I'm just ready to start all the way over, just kind of like we did with Bob Hill. Like, it's not that Bob wasn't a good coach. It's just like, okay, it's time for change. Again, that's not how you and I feel, but there's a section of Spurs fans that feel that way, despite the politics, just talking strictly in between the lines.
I mean, we're still mad at him for how he handled the development of some of our younger guys and how they were forever in Austin, never allowed to make a mistake. How, I think Lonnie is the classic example of the modern player and the older coach, and it just never worked.
Although Lonnie got a little bit exposed last night. Mike Malone was like, hey, he's not as good on defense as we thought. Let's expose his ass. They went at Lonnie. Like every time Lonnie came out, put his ass in the pick and roll.
Pissed up. Jamal, give him the ball, baby. Because, they did go at him last night. Hey, let's say for Brian Wright, the post-celebration, listening to the general manager of Wright, listen to what they say, and let's consider what exactly hard work did they do?
So we had something set up as a group where we had our whole staff get together at a little restaurant, a little private room, watch it together. It took a little long to get there. The little celebration and interview started early, but we had a great night. Just sharing on all the things that went into it. Everybody telling stories, and it just embodies all the hard work that all the staff put into everything that happened that night. And thank goodness we got a little lucky.
This was the sweetest gig in NBA history. For the last 3 years, NBA scouts could walk into their general manager's office and say, I got to go to Paris for a week. And they got to go to Paris for a week to go watch a guy that everybody who looked even at a picture go, well, yeah, he's number one. You don't need to go scout him. What the hell? What are you worried about? So you guys put in a lot of hard work, going through customs and going to Paris the last 3 years. That was grueling, man. Have to go there in the spring and go to a basketball gym and watch literally the greatest player I've ever seen.
I know. I remember we were watching Windhorse, like, hey, yeah, Windhorse out there in Paris. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, what a gig. Like, yo, you got to go hang out in Paris for a week.
You got to cash in while you can. So there are scouts upset right now. Like, damn, no more Paris gigs. That's a lot of hard work we put in figuring out that this 7'4", 8-foot wingspan, span, jump, shooting, dribbling big dude probably should be the number one pick. They all
probably.
That's what our scouts tell us. Brian Wright is, as we speak, and we have a pretty good idea who's landing in the boat. We are going to hear later in the show. They're busy right now. Have y'all seen the combine? The combine is actually being broadcast right now.
Rob, we're normal. Too. We're normal humans. Nobody watches the NBA combine, Rob, except you and your son.
If you did,
who should I be looking for? You were telling me about that.
I don't know names.
The guy that hit the 12
There's
threes.
A dude from Belmont last night
there
that
you go.
was on freaking fire. So they are active in Chicago right now. And
I thought it's not in Portsmouth anymore.
Well, there is one in Portsmouth.
Okay.
This is the NBA's combine, which has turned into kind of used to that you'd see some drills. Now it's just a bunch of scrimmaging with a bunch of coaches that you vaguely remember as players. So it's turned into, they're trying to make it like the NFL combine, this whole kind of exhibition, and it's not working. Although watching it, the panel guests, every NBA coach has sat down there. So it is an interesting watch on that perspective as well. We got RJ Ochoa going to come around the corner.
Yeah, the RJ Ochoa show on the R&R in the morning show. What the hell, Tim Spence?
And now, while we've been paying attention to basketball, the Cowboy world continues. There's that annual infrastructure report that's out. And when we look at all the NFL teams, what they've got to offer players, that's kind of floating around out there. Cowboys have nearly $17 million in salary cap space.
Yeah, buddy. There's still a little bit something out there that go shopping still.
And there's 3 free agents that we'll tell you about that maybe might need to be
It's
highlighted.
like they got that gift card and you're like, it's still $25 out here, babe. Maybe we can find some cheap ground beef.
But you need to spend it before that money runs out. We're going to have to get there.
Facts.
Denver has a nice, comfortable lead. It's 2-0. Can the Celtics rebound? We're going to talk NBA as well. It is
let's do it.
What time's RJ here? Oh, you know what? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Preakness is tomorrow.
Yep. I'm down.
Are there any horses running that we know? Is the Kentucky Derby winner running in the Preakness? That and many others will be covered by Joe Lenardi. He of Bet Online.
Yep.
He'll be here at 9:15.
Dick Girardi as well. He'll be here too.
We'll be right back. I'm going to go find some caffeine. This is R&R in the morning, and we got 1 hour down. We'll be right back with your sports singer. Hang around with us. This is R&R on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, call could change your entire case. Call 210-225-0909 or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice. Maybe it's time to ask your checking account. What have you done for me lately? My Advantage Checking from Generations Federal Credit Union does more. My Advantage Checking pays you 2 days early, plus shopping rewards, identity protection, and much more. My Advantage Checking treats you right. So make the switch. Learn more at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned, community grown. Member eligibility requirements apply. For complete terms and conditions, visit mygenfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
O'Reilly! Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dr. Rick here, with another telltale sign you're turning into your parents, getting particular about your drive-thru order.
Don't pull away yet. I like to check the bag because one time they forgot to give me extra ketchup.
People are waiting.
I'm only seeing 4 nuggets. Wait, nope, there's 5.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Attention all poker players, I need to let you know about San Antonio's premier card house. That's right, SA Card House, 281 North in Bitters. Clean atmosphere, inviting, top-notch, and the customer service is A1. But let me tell you what I love most about SA Card House. True story. Mondays and Wednesdays, I go out there and I get in the free roll. I'm not the best poker player. Matter of fact, I'm not experienced at all, but it doesn't matter. Whether you're the dealer or whether it's the players, whether it's the employees, they're willing to help you and willing to help you learn the game and make you get to the point where you can become a top-notch poker player. They got pros all the way down to the Rudy J and the Joes. Go and check it out yourself at sacardhouse.com. SA Card House is at Bitters and 281, and they got a full bar and a full grill with 3 5-star chefs. I've had just about everything on the menu. SA Card House is a private social club, but always accepting new members. Go and check them out for yourself, and they got the 100 Can May giveaway. sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
After 21 years of gun shows in Live Oak, this is the final weekend at the Hilton Garden Inn on Pat Booker in Live Oak. Texas gun shows featuring guns, knives, military collectibles, ammunition, and much more. Now through Sunday at the Hilton Garden Inn on Pat Booker Road in Live Oak.
Missions Baseball is back Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 6 p.m. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets. We are San Antonio.
My wife was the first to notice I was losing my hair. I thought, I am way too young for this.
At QC Kinetics Hair Restoration, we see men and women of all ages struggling with hair loss. And for Nick, it began when he was just 32 years old.
I didn't really think about it too much until last spring when I got sunburn on my scalp and, it wasn't really that hot out.
QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments, all natural biologics to reignite hair growth without surgery. And the results are amazing.
I felt like I was hopeful, right? But then after the first few treatments, I already started to notice a difference. It just felt real. So I was just more excited to continue the process.
Real results without invasive surgery. And as for Nick's wife,
she loves it. I got my hair back in my early 30s. I want to look my age, and now I do.
Schedule your free hair restoration consultation today with QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
This is R&R in the morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning.
KTFM Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Denver Nuggets are for real, and the flurry from Murray was on. Fourth quarter as Denver takes a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference Finals. Tonight with the Heat leading that series 1-0. You can catch it over on ESPN 1250 starting at 7. And Coach Popovich is expected to return next season, but as of now, he doesn't have a new contract just yet. R&R Morning rolls on.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake up, wake me up, wake me up.
Rob Thompson,
Ginobili the other way in transition to the left-hand slam.
I want some nasty.
Rudy J,
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellence.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Fix your face. It's Friday. That's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson, Easy E, driving us till 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going. Dallas Cowboy talk coming imminent. Of course, we're talking NBA as the Nuggets sit up 2-0. Mike Malone has the Nuggets convinced that the world thinks they suck, and Jamal Murray keeps proving it otherwise, going 23 in the fourth. And then RJ will be here directly. But first, the Cowboys, let's talk about it as they head in. They got OTAs coming up next. That's in June 1. Cuts are imminent in just about 11, 12 days. Free agency now rears its head because the Cowboys got a little bit of money in the bank.
16.7 to be exact.
And, there's not a lot of holes to fill. Are you tired of hearing about tight end?
It just proven to me, the fact that we keep talking about tight end just proves to me that they really thought really, really highly of Dalton Schultz, but just that number, that just to do $11 million again or $10 million, whatever. I mean, I think he got close to 10 with the Texans. To do it again, they just didn't want to stomach it.
Now,
they know it's a hole.
Yeah, obviously they do. And from my perspective, it doesn't seem to be nearly as big a hole as they think. Because if I had 16.7 and you told me, all right, Steven, go out and spend the money. You can go get however many few you got. We don't have that many holes, but this money, this 16.7, we're not carrying this over. Go spend it. If you were going to go spend 16.7 million, and you don't have to name the player, but name the position that you'd go start spending money.
Ooh. I would probably go offensive line.
Okay, I think that's
maybe
a
some
prudent
offensive
move.
line depth. Linebacker. And gosh, probably tight end.
Well, I'm looking at a list of potential free agents that the Cowboys should consider. This is an NFL analysis website. They're looking at positions. The very first thing out of their mouth was tight end, and they're throwing out a name like Mercedes Lewis. What?
He's not much of a pass catcher anymore, but still a solid player that can have impact on the game. His run blocking remains elite, Rob. He can be used as a red zone weapon, with 2 of his 6 receptions last season going for touchdowns.
Would that tell us that Mike might have been telling us the truth if they go sign a Mercedes Lewis who has hands like a right tackle? I mean, the dude's been in the league for 20 years.
And that's because he's an elite run blocker.
And maybe that will be a sign that
there's a place for those guys.
I'm just sick and tired of hearing about tight end. How many tight ends you got to have? How many we got on the roster now? 4, 5?
Yeah, you drafted one in the second. Schoonmaker was second round, wasn't it?
And I saw where Jason Witten had some advice.
What did he say?
Catch the ball and fall forward. That's how he made all his money. You need to be 4 yards downfield, catch the ball, and fall forward for a first down. And if you do that, you'll go in the Hall of Fame.
It's kind of true.
We didn't see Witten take a step after a catch the last 5 years he played. So he told Schoonmaker,
"Hey man, yak was awful.
Just catch it and fall down and make first downs. You're going to the Hall of Fame, and everybody will love you." So tight end being damned. Next, I think that while we keep harping on
you talk about the conversation we're tired of. This
running
next,
back.
This next one, I'm like, another name to keep an eye on is running back Ezekiel Elliott. 2 sides parted ways. Blah blah blah. Really?
But you do get the sense that this is going to happen. I feel in my gut that when we go to training camp, 21 is going to be running around.
Okay, so my thing is that's fine. But considering we know how much Mike McCarthy loves him some Zeke, can he really just leave Zeke over there on the side? Like, let's say you bring him back. You gonna just leave him over there and just watch Tony Pollard be the bell cow?
No, I think it would look a lot like last year. I don't have a problem with that. But it'd be cheaper. It'd be last year cheaper.
Way cheaper. I mean, last year Zeke made, I don't know, $16 million, $15 million, whatever the hell it was.
So, yeah, you get Pollard got a raise, but you could probably get Zeke in for a quarter as much. And again, as you always say, there's 10 touchdowns there last year. So I'm not anti that. And in fact, that seems probably the most logical. Okay, that's 2 dudes down. Let's say you're paying Zeke 6, whatever. You're paying your Mercedes Lewis, what is the league freaking minimum for him, whatever that is.
1.2, 2.3, whatever the bare minimum.
So now you got a little room for a splash.
What's the splash?
I don't know. Does that money?
I don't think there's a splash player out there that they need at a position. Like, I think the only splash out there is, if you want to call it that, is receiver position. There's still some receivers out there, but that's the last thing they need right now.
So, or do you take that money and start throwing it at, as we talked about yesterday, one of your pillars? I mean, we got a little bit of extra squalor here, but maybe we should go ahead and jump in on Dak. Because Mercedes Lewis, I think they could sign him with a change in the cushions. I don't think that's going to cost them very much. And we know Zeke's certainly going to come in with his hat in hand if he doesn't get an offer that he's chasing.
Right. Well, according to ESPN's Dan Graziano, he said he'd be very surprised if Dak was not extended this offseason, and the deal that would knock down that 2024 cap figure, which currently sits at almost $60 million. So I think Dan is saying that because of that number.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and we talked about this yesterday, so it's funny Dan brought this up. It's like he was listening to the show. Like, who gets done before the season starts? And I think what your answer was is like, I'd be shocked if Dak wasn't done by then. But Dak will get done before Diggs and CD for sure.
Because they've got the money already allocated to him, and now you can divert it several years down the road, which is typical of Dallas Cowboys. And as I was talking about, I really didn't consider that part of the equation when we're talking about those 3 that are due. I really looked at it more as a personnel stance to prove that, you know what, when CD is up and when Mike is up, look, we will commit to you. You will get what you deserve.
Right.
And we're not going to make you wait as long as Dak did the first time. And we're not going to make you fly down to Baja like Zeke had to. You will get what you deserve. And we're going to prove it by paying Dak this year. And that way you'll know exactly where we stand next year when your agent looks at the salary cap numbers. I think that's probably the biggest reason to go get it. And we got more to talk with the NBA. Did you know the Nugs are taking advantage of that Mile High Stadium? They are 8-0 in the playoffs. Lakers like it by the beach as well. They're undefeated.
6-0, 14-0 between these 2 teams at the crib.
The trains are headed at each other and they're playing chicken. Who goes off the rails first? And don't forget about when we say off the rails, can Boston get back on? We'll talk NBA next. You're on R&R, and this is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Save the date, Golf Club of Texas, May 24th, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. San Antonio Sports Star, as we always do, invade the 10 Cup Bar and Grill to celebrate their 1-year anniversary party out there at Golf Club of Texas. Jason and Joe, a.k.a. The Blitz, going to go out to the 10 Cup Bar at Golf Club of Texas. They're going to do $2.50 wells all day, $3 specialty 10 cup shots, $4 domestic beer. Also on the food side, buy 1 entree, you get some free chips and sauce that are going to do 60-cent boneless wings, $10 pizza. So much fun for the kids. Bring the kids out. They're going to got a bounce house, board games, cornhole, jumbo Jenga, Connect Four, snow cone machine, and Marvel Trivia Night with prizes. You hear that, Pledger? Marvel Trivia Night, the Blitz, 10 Cup Bar and Grill, celebrating their 1-year anniversary out at Golf Club of Texas. That food out there is fantastic. I was out there last Sunday for the Mother's Day brunch. Had such a good time with such good food. So save the date. Next Wednesday, May 24th, 3 p.m., 8 p.m., Jason and Joe, the Blitz, 10 Cup Bar and Grill 1-year anniversary. That's the Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe, today at 3.
Former San Antonio Spur and NBA champ Danny Green will join us on the Blitz at 4:30, talking NBA playoffs and Wemby. We'll talk Cowboys with John Machota from The Athletic at 5:30. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe, today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you're drinking a frozen beverage from McDonald's, your brain may not like how refreshingly cold it is, but the rest of your body, oh yes, it's gonna relish every moment of it, because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
There's no better way to cool down than with this cool deal. Get a medium frozen Coke, frozen Dr. Pepper, or frozen Fanta for just $1.79. Prices of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I was in a terrible car accident. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and also injured my spine. My daughter-in-law called Jeff Davis. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $86,559. I want everyone in San Antonio to know Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Power through every season with True Fuel, the ready-to-use engineered fuel for outdoor power equipment that lasts for years and provides true convenience, true performance, and true protection. True Fuel is ethanol-free and precision-engineered to improve performance and extend the life of trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, and small generators. With True Fuel in the tank, you're always ready for yard work and everything Mother Nature decides to throw at you. True Fuel. Empower your equipment.
It's Michael Jimenez with Jimenez and Spence, weekdays 12 to 3. People ask all the time, how can we become part of the San Antonio Sports Star family? Well, if you have a business, reach out to us for sponsorship opportunities. You can advertise with San Antonio Sports Star with all of our talent here. Reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. After that, she will get you in touch with one of our professional sales reps and get you going. Again, reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut. Connecticut, pure coincidence, but kind of cool, don't you think? I get hit with quirky quandaries and questionable catastrophes dealing with hard water calamities all the time. But I feel like King Canepa of Connecticut when I read the kind reviews from the Connecticut clients that love their Connecticut water system and no longer live in hard water calamity. Facts are, if you want to keep your appliances kicking and your kitchen clean and your skin kissable and your hair caressable and your entire home protected from crazy hard water crud, call me, Chris Canepa of Connecticut. For this month, you can save a caboodle of cash. We're closing out all of our current Connecticut models to make room for the new models, which means now is the absolute best time to save money on a Connecticut home water softener for your home. Schedule your free, no-obligation water analysis at 656 Pure or online at connecticutsa.com. Connecticut, 656 Pure.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut. SA.com.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping,
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
for nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
Shiny and strong and healthy and hydrated. Your hair can do it all. So get to Ulta Beauty's Gorgeous Hair Event happening now to see how you can take your hair to a whole new level. Discover beauty steals of 50% off must-haves from brands like Way and It's a 10. And explore exciting new arrivals from Lola V and Olaplex. These deals won't last long. So hurry. This event ends June 3rd. Shop in-store, online, or pick up today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're going to 25, damn it.
And you're gonna deal with it, Edwin.
Just deal with it and produce. Good morning to you. He's Easy E producing this show with a whip and a chair. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. Welcome on to R&R. The R&R show will end in just about 15 minutes, and the RJ Ochoa show will begin. Hang around for the appropriate music, and RJ Ochoa as well. Talk Dallas Cowboys with him. You know, I didn't look at it. I didn't realize it. Denver is 8-0 at home. They're at this point.
Because Rob, is like Mike Malone said.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
We know that
you
the
see what I'm
Lakers
saying?
are 6-0. We know they've done wonderfully well. It is a little surprise. And that home court, no better home cooking than a Mile High.
It gets loud in there, and it gets loud in there quick, and there everybody's high. You know what I mean? There's a real good crowd considering everybody's high. You know what I'm saying? Like normally when you high, you kind of like, dude, good shot. You know what I'm saying? Great shot,
You
man.
sit up in the upper level
You know what I
where
mean?
the smoke cloud, like the old convention center. arena.
Exactly. But they're, I guess microdosing makes you a little bit more animated. I don't know.
There's not as much stress. You just live with it. You can go 5 for 22 or whatever Jamal did, and then fourth you kind of wake up, bump up a little bit, and go let loose. It is worthy of mention, though,
What's that?
as they are 8-0,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any Nugget fan will tell you, never a doubt. I think the last 2 games, but for a bounce, but for a miscut or a high pick, go the other direction. And it wouldn't have been that astounding to anybody who watched the game.
LeBron missed 17 layups too.
But they were in it to win.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
When you play as bad as LeBron and AD did, LeBron went 0 for 6 from the field. AD just didn't have it. Yet it takes 47 minutes for Denver to win that game. Again, if I'm going back to LA, especially, and I've watched LeBron long enough to know, and you know what? Let's hear from LeBron, Edwin. Let's hear him talk about, job not done.
I mean, what do you take out of it is the fact that this is not the NCAA tournament.
True.
It's the first team to 4 wins. And we have an opportunity to go home and play great basketball and home serve. Until the team beats you 4 times, then you always have an opportunity to come out of it. That's the confidence that we should have. And I know it's going to be a tough hill to climb up, but we still have an opportunity to play good basketball and play the best basketball of the series in Game 3. And like I said, if we can get better from Game 2, like we did tonight to Game 3, then we put ourselves in a position to do that.
Dude, Edwin, appreciate this stat. LeBron is 1 from 20 from 3 in the fourth quarter of these playoffs.
That's all I think.
But they're in the Western Conference Finals, so it's not hurting them that bad. But if you're the Lakers, are you really that distraught?
I wouldn't be. But I also wake up and go, we're down 0-2, and teams that are down 0-2 to start a series are 6 and 56. 6.
How much do we really put into those? I mean, the numbers tell us we should, right?
Everything in a vacuum. I completely agree. But when it is this lopsided, what does it tell you? Because in conference finals, you got 2 great teams. It's not like one team you can't fall ass backwards into the conference finals. You can fall ass backwards into the semis. But by the time you get here, you're playing as good as you can. And normally what it shows is one team is just better. Just better. They were up 2-0.
Do you feel like that even though they were at home, you take away? Okay, that's what I was going to say. Okay.
So it's 6 and 56, but like you take every one of these in a vacuum, the Nuggets are not obviously better than the Lakers. They're better on the scoreboard, but take away 3 minutes, a minute and a half from each game, and the score's entirely different. And we're saying a whole bunch of other stuff. We're questioning the Nuggets' heart. We're wondering if Jamal Murray will ever make it back. We're asking why Michael Porter Jr. isn't doing as much as he is. We're asking about the bench. But no, a minute and a half per game changed the perspective on both sides. And LeBron's been here so long, he sees it. Like, you know what?
I'm not down on the Lakers. And again, I fully feel like this series will start in Game 5. I've been wrong a lot. I'm going to be wrong again. But I feel like they're going to come back to Denver. It's going to be 2-2, and they're going to duke it out. These games are going to be close. And Denver is capable of winning on the road. But the Lakers have been so good at home, and they've taken so many punches. I fully expect this to come back to Denver 2-2, and then Game 5, this series will really get going.
Oh, and by the way, of these 6 teams that did come back, 2 of them were LeBron teams.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I have him. That's why Rob's on my team, because he has to pick me up. Because see, this is what we do. When I'm not having a great game, I can count on Rob. Austin Reeves and Hachimura have every right to walk into the locker room and be like, hey,
where you at?
I did my part. Like, you can't waste performances from role players. You got over 40 points from Reeves and Hachimura. Over 40. And LeBron and AD wet the bed. Ooh. Somebody's going to overpay him, right? Look at you don't even.
You know how much
can't even
money,
get it out.
I'm serious. You know how much money he has made. I would say his next contract went from league minimum to whatever, to a minimum of about $7-8 million a year. And he'll make 25 to 30 million in his next deal.
Let's piss Mike Malone off some more. I saw this last night, Rob. Stephen A. and Draymond Green did the Peyton Manning Eli thing. Okay. And Draymond admitted, he was like, what I did to Jordan Poole screwed our season. He said, I couldn't say what I wanted to say in the locker room up until February because I was trying my hardest to mend the relationship. He said, when we were on the road, it was awful. We developed all these horrible habits, and he said he pretty much screwed them.
Has Draymond started going to church?
I don't know.
Has he had a conversion on the
He's working on that post. He's working on that post basketball career, but he admitted it. That
don't
like
make me like you, Draymond. Yeah, don't come out and be a nice dude.
He admitted that he screwed their season because he said like there was things that were going on that he couldn't address because he was like trying to get back into Jordan Poole's good graces.
I hate that I missed this. That is an openness, the likes of which you never hear
from a player, right?
From a player. I've never heard a player come out and be honest like that.
He said on the road all the way through February, it was just off. And he said when Jordan struggled these playoffs, he said, I couldn't even go to him and talk to him because I'm worried about trying to make sure our relationship got back on track, and it just never did.
I'm just going to put it out into the universe. This is feeling very much like a 2014 Spurs team.
For what, going into next season?
I think Golden State, the way Draymond's acting, I think they're going to pull it all together for one more run. And we talked earlier about Pop not under contract. Steve Kerr's contract expires at the end of next season.
Oh,
Bob Myers, the GM who put this team together, appears to be leaving. Appears to be by every measure. He's going to go.
He's missed too many times.
Well, I don't think they want him to go. I mean, this is the guy.
He wants to.
I think that he has mentioned that he wants to do other things. So he might become.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And there's some interesting story behind that. He might become a hedge fund investor and start going and buying franchises with a couple of other pros. A-Rod being one of them. A-Rod's trying to put together a hedge fund that buys professional franchises, bits of them.
Wow, because he's part Timberwolf owner right now.
Yes, already. And he's his investor buddy. They're trying to put together a hedge fund that will recruit money where they do nothing but buy into professional franchises. And it appears that Bob Myers might jump on this boat and be one of the primary investors in that. Just a little sidebar. But when you hear Draymond be as open as that, I hate, first of all, that I like the guy and he's doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to be the jerk. But secondly, it does feel like that's coming around the bend. Hey, we got a break. We got a lot to do, and RJ Ochoa is going to be a part of it. We're talking football with RJ coming up next. Cowboys discussion is imminent. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Hey, it is the weekend, baby. You made it, and Tri-County's got the doors open in 2.5 hours, ready to serve to you the finest and curated meats you're going to get in the San Antonio metro area. I am so proud to say that I'm affiliated with Tri-County because everybody to a person that I have said, go there, you'll thank me later, has in fact thanked me later. You'll not get any better service, any better treatment, or any better meat anywhere in San Antonio. So let's talk about it. Prime or better. You like those big Akaushi ones? You like that? They got plenty of that. You looking for a steak? I don't care what cut they got. And if they don't, they'll go get it for you. And maybe it's time for one of those big old fancy roasts, or you're going to just put some stuff on the grill like one of their pre-made hamburger patties. Let me tell you, you can make your own hamburger patty. You can do your very best, and no matter how good you do it, it will not be as good as what Tri-County does. Head to Tri-County this week and experiment. Push the envelope. Try something new, or do something that you know you can do very well. Put a steak on that grill and celebrate. Tri-County got 2 locations, over on Huebner, out on Ralph Fair Road. You know where they are. First responders, you know you're getting 10% for just walking in the door. Don't leave without getting on their email list so you know when all the specials are coming. It's Tri-County Meat Market, friends. If you haven't been, go, and if you have, go back and thank me later.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
ESPN's Dan Graziano writes, it'd be very surprising if Dak Prescott wasn't extended this offseason. He speculates that so they can knock down that 2024 cap figure, which currently sits at almost $60 million. Game to Boston Heat. Heat leading 1-5 tonight. You can catch that game on San Antonio's ESPN 1250 starting at 7. It's all good. Attention all poker players, I need to let you know about San Antonio's premier card house. That's right, SA Card House, 281 North in Bitters. Clean atmosphere, inviting, top-notch, and the customer service is A1. But let me tell you what I love most about SA Card House. True story. Mondays and Wednesdays, I go out there and I get in the free roll. I'm not the best poker player. Matter of fact, I'm not experienced at all, but it doesn't matter. Whether you're the dealer or whether it's the players, whether it's the employees, they're willing to help you and willing to help you learn the game and make you get to the point where you can become a top-notch poker player. They got pros all the way down to the Rudy J and the Joes. Go and check it out yourself at sacardhouse.com. SA Card House is at Bitters and 281, and they got a full bar and a full grill with 3 5-star chefs. I've had just about everything on the menu. SA Card House is a private social club, but always accepting new members. Go and check them out for yourself, and they got the 100 Can May giveaway. sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Maytag month has got it going on. It's all you want with the savings all month long. Baby, can't you see? Maytag month is all you need. You know you can't go wrong when Maytag month is going on.
Upgrade to the performance you need on all Maytag major appliances during May is Maytag month, happening all month long.
Maytag month is going on.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Come shop Memorial Day deals now at Lowe's. Refresh your home for the summer for less. When you buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. And get ready for fun gatherings by saving over $100 on the Style Selections Pelham Bay 5-piece dining set. Now just $345. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month. A savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
O'Reilly.
Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dr. Rick here, with another telltale sign you're turning into your parents, getting particular about your drive-thru order.
Don't pull away yet. I like to check the bag because one time they forgot to give me extra ketchup.
People are waiting.
I'm only seeing 4 nuggets. Wait, nope, there's 5.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with HomeQuote Explorer.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What's going on in Jerry's world? What's the latest from Cowboy Camp? Find out right here, Friday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30 with the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Here's Robin Rudy.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show. We are the RJettes. Are we the what are like the Danettes? So that's who we are. I'd like to welcome on the show RJ Ochoa, the suit in charge, the potentate, the head guy.
The RJ Ochoa Show. I whatever. It's cool. How you doing, RJizzle?
Great to be with you guys. I guess I'm Mickey. One of you's Donald, and the other is Goofy.
There we go.
So you guys can kind of figure out who's who amongst yourselves.
It's pretty self-evident, I think. Nice shirt.
What is that? Oh, hey, hold on now. I'm checking everybody at the door. All right, I'm the bouncer. Even though I was never a Spurs fan until I got in the radio. But I'm the bouncer. So RJ Ochoa, for those that's not watching on YouTube, is wearing a Spurs shirt. Now, let me check your resume. How long you been a Spurs fan,
sir? Bonafides.
I feel like this is a bit of a looking under my own.
It kind of is.
Own house sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I've worked Spurs games for this radio station.
Yeah. He has his bona fides.
Okay.
He's not a bandwagon type.
Hey, RJ, everybody gets patted down.
Right. You're getting patted down.
Every male, turn around. Let me pat you down.
You went through the detector.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah.
Come on in. Grab your stuff out of the little cup. Grab your wallet, your phone. Come on in. You're in.
I'm not above admitting that this shirt went through a less common circulation than others over the last few years. But
it was at the bottom of the drawer.
Yeah, my excuse was it's black, and so my dog's hair gets on it.
Yeah,
that's why I don't wear it. You know what I mean?
Which is indeed a challenge, if that is in fact a real reason. I buy it having had a white dog.
I mean, we're talking about this. Of course, we join you to talk about Cowboys, but this is the biggest story in sports. Wembanyama being the best prospect of all time, according to Woj, in any pro sport. So we had to ask you about Victor Wemby.
Can he play wide receiver?
If he could, watch out, CD Lamb. But I think the biggest story is actually the Roo Pub. I mean, goodness gracious, y'all pour one on, it looked like, and T's and P's for the open.
You mean our latest viral video?
Yeah, we're viral, by the way.
We went viral on that.
I know you did. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it 18 times in 18 different places.
And every time I say it, I feel like one of the parents in the Geico commercial that I just bought a home and I've become old. We went viral, RJ.
You really did.
We actually did.
It was beautiful.
All right, let's talk some football real quick.
San Antonio.
We've got the collective Cowboy $16.7 million in the bank, itching to be spent. Where's it going to go?
Position. You don't have to go player. Let's go position. Give me the top 3 positions that you would spend the 16-7 if you were talking to Steve and Jerry.
It's worth mentioning before I answer the question that we're about 2 weeks away from June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some Zeke Elliott money coming too around the corner.
Oh, that's right.
So we're not even. I didn't know that wasn't counted into that. So there's like 26.
I mean, yeah, like it doesn't become available to you until after June 1st, because otherwise, you could manipulate the situation and whatever. But,
so there's more money in the bank than I thought. So with all of that.
I mean, they got to sign their rookie class. That's, a handful, right? That's getting a Dairy Queen blizzard and they turn it upside down. Like, it's gotta
didn't they sign them all? Aren't they all in the boat?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it takes up cap space.
But the number that I bring up, 16.7, that doesn't include Zeke's money that is imminent, and it also doesn't include a little bit of money that's going out.
It depends how quickly they're processing their rookie contracts, but it doesn't include Zeke.
Okay.
That's the important thing. They do keep some for a rainy day, which sounds boring, but last year at training camp, they signed, Kavontae Turpin, Anthony Barr, Brett Maher. 2 years ago at training camp, they signed Malik Hooker. So those things do develop.
Oh, good point.
If you do have to kind of throw it at a position, interior offensive line help, you know what I mean? That could surely be something. I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind seeing another wide receiver. If you do want another running back, they're going to forever tease the Zeke thing until it's not.
What about Dalvin Cook?
If he becomes available, I mean, that's the name. It's, you can miss me with that personally. I mean, we've gotten out of the wilderness, you know what I mean? Like, we've left all the meetings and everything. Like, we're finally free. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to chase the big name running back. I mean, last week, everybody signed up for Deuce Vaughn jerseys, and now because Dalvin Cook might be available, we're all batting our eyes. But
it's funny, RJ. It's funny because that's why I love you, because there's just certain things about Cowboy Nation that drives you insane, and I love when they're under your skin. Because remember after the draft and everybody was mad about Mozzie, you were so pissed, and then now that it seemed like Dalvin Cook, as soon as Rob said it, your body language just changed. Like, dude, don't talk to me about Dalvin Cook. Like, stop.
I mean, look, Dalvin is a talented runner, a talented player, but let's relax, let's chill. Like, and we don't have to do the thing that we accuse everyone else of doing. Like, if and when Zeke signs with another team, that team's fan base is going to talk themselves into why this is a great idea. We don't have to do that with Dalvin Cook.
Right.
I mean, have you guys ever drafted Alexander Madison on any of your fantasy teams? No. That's the dude who the Vikings would rather have than Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so that's an important thing to consider. No disrespect to Alexander Madison, not Alexander Skarsgård, the guy buying, Waystar Royco in Succession. But anyway, I'm out on Dalvin Cook. I mean, there's really not a lot, I think, that is like massively going to happen with that. But I mean, they do still have a Trayvon Diggs deal to figure out. Not that will take up an enormous amount of current salary cap space, but they have that. They have CeeDee Lamb waiting in the wings. They still have to do a Dak Prescott extension if they're going to do that. Now, to be clear, the Dak extension would actually alleviate more salary cap space if they're going to do something else.
Right. But it would also show that they're committed to him, which you broke here. Well, not broke, but you were the first to bring it up on a anywhere that I could remember that, hey, if they do redo Dak, that gives them some commitment. If they didn't, that allowed them to wiggle out of that contract next year. Would you handle kicker like we handle fantasy kickers, RJ? Like, all right, it's your turn this week. Next week it's your turn, or is it something that you feel like they need to address and really like lock down and get in the room and figure out, or let's just go fantasy on this thing?
I once spent like 30 minutes of an episode of The Blitz moaning and groaning about this. I wrote like a 1,300 word article a few years back about Dan Bailey. And obviously Dan Bailey was a great kicker, but Dan Bailey, as his career wore on, started to suffer back injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And my argument was that Dan Bailey's being used on kickoffs. Why are we doing that? How many points are scored on kickoffs? Like, why are you wasting Dan Bailey's energy on kickoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Why not handle that with someone else? We can, to your point, we could sit and joke and cast it off and say it's not a big deal, whatever. It's one of the very, very few, very precious positions that gets to score points. So it has to be treated with the utmost, like the team with the most points wins. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be.
So you taking this serious? You think that? So then, then why haven't they signed Robbie Gould?
Right.
What's the holdup?
I mean, they need $17 million in salary cap space. You don't know how much Robbie Gould's asking for on the open market. I mean, that feels too obvious to not happen at this stage, at this juncture. But look at who they've worked with, in terms of while John Fossil has been their special teams coordinator. In 2020, when he took over, he wanted his guy, Greg Zuerlein. He held on to him through 2021, compared him to Tiger Woods, compared him to Michael Jordan. That was stupid. That was dumb. Never made any sense. In 2022, people forget this time a year ago. Do y'all know who the Cowboys kicker was that we were getting up and hyping up?
It was somebody that almost hit me in the face with a missed kick. I was at Cowboy camp and he almost hit me in the face with a missed kick. I don't remember his name though.
Well, the Cowboys did cut Greg Zuerlein or move on from Greg Zuerlein in the offseason last year and toyed with bringing him back before the Jets scooped him up. They did not draft a kicker. Instead, they signed Jonathan Garibay out of Texas Tech in undrafted free agency. And that was the big plan. That was the big, all right, we got this. And then, he almost hit you in the face in Oxnard and everything was falling apart. And they got Brett Maher back. I mean, I feel here because I advocate for Brett. I mean, he had a horrible end of the season, but he was a very good kicker last year. But man, it was so dumb. It should not have worked out the way it did to bring him back. I mean, Brett Maher saved them. They treated that position with such cavalierness throughout the entire year, and it almost bit them in the face. They didn't lose because of their kicking situation, but yeah, you got to take this seriously. I mean, it is a position that scores points.
Well, then Rob, I guess we'll stop. Go ahead.
You know, when you talk about tight end, what exactly are we looking for? Consistency and comfort, or game-winning accuracy, guy that can go hit a 59-yarder to take their ass out of the fire? Because I feel like you can find a bunch of kickers that are going to hit just about all their 40-yarders and 89 to 95% of their extra points. And isn't that enough?
I don't remember his name, but the bad guy in the movie Tin Cup that Roy McAvoy is playing, like the loser that was his like college, teammate.
Yeah, the Tin Cup shooter, McGee.
Right. So like when they start off on Sunday at the U.S. Open on number one, he says like right in the fairway, and Roy McAvoy, Kevin Costner's like, oh, you're playing for par, and the guy goes, I'll take 18 of them all day long.
Yeah.
I'll take 18 pars for my kicker. That's a position, like, again, score points, but 18 pars is pretty solid. Like 18 pars is living a pretty high-priced, cushy life on the PGA Tour. So that's what I want from my kicker. I don't need you to be booting 60-yard field goals like Brett Maher. I just need consistency.
One of the tie-ins I had from the NBA playoffs, RJ, to the Cowboys is Jamal Murray. Had a fantastic season this year. He just went off last night. And what I wanted to remind Cowboy fan was earlier in the show was after he tore his ACL, the Denver Nuggets gave him an entire year plus playoffs off. Michael Gallup wasn't given that luxury. And I feel like, for me, two of my guys, I feel like Malik Davis is going to be a stud, but we'll save that for another day. Michael Gallup, I think, will return to who we saw that got him paid. And this whole receiver thing will be for nothing. And now he's also back in the situation. Remember when he had Amari and CD? That's when he flourished. I think he's going to be back in that position this year, not so much pressure. And I think Gallup's going to have a hell of a year.
Well, I think it's adorable that you think Malik Davis is going to go off.
You see, why are you going to? You see, I knew we couldn't make it without fighting. Malik Davis, hey, mark the tape.
The legend.
May 19th, 2023, 7:46 a.m., Rudy J and RJ disagreed on Malik Davis. When he has 1,100 yards next season, I'm going to bring this up, but back to Gallup.
Way to say the time, Rudy, because I think this segment replays. Way to make the
damn.
For the next time.
Delete that, Edwin.
Anyway,
we'll act as if. It's okay.
Pacific Standard.
I think that's fair. I mean, it was so bad last year that it can't be that bad. So, and I think it's fair to say, people say like, oh, he's more of a Robin than he is a Batman. Like, you're right. Like, he's not even a Robin. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
Like, well, no, I mean, that's fine. You need three dudes. You know what I mean? Like, he's Chris Bosh, right? He needs LeBron and D Wade. Like,
you know what? That is a great application to what he is. He's Chris Bosh. You don't win without him, but you don't really realize he's on the field.
Okay, so then admit that Jerry and Steven made a mistake then. If you feel that way about him and you think that less of him, then you got to come on there and say, then Jerry and Steven made a mistake.
I don't think that's a mistake to be compared to Chris Bosh.
No, I'm talking about giving him the money.
I don't think that committing to Michael Gallup in a vacuum is a mistake, but I mean, I have spent and poured a lot of ink and wasted a lot of my voice saying how it was a mistake. I mean, last year, the horses they bet on were Michael Gallup, like literally just fresh coming off of the torn ACL. It wasn't like it had been 3 months or 4 months. Like, it had happened in week 17. It happened in the first week of January of 2022. That was the horse they bet on and spit in the horse of Amari Cooper, right? So that was dumb in and of itself. Then they bet on third-round rookie Jalen Tolbert and expected him to come in and be the Messiah. And then they bet on Washington, who actually, I think, owns a horse.
Who?
So, I mean, like, those were the three dudes. So they were like, we got this. Watch. We're good. That was so dumb. And it blew up in their face. It was so bad that on Christmas Eve, when T.Y. Hilton made one catch, we freaked out. And we lost our minds because we had, had our expectations.
It was 3rd and 30. I mean, I get it.
It was.
It was 3rd and 30.
I mean, I like the comparison. I mean, Dak is obviously Jokic, and that makes, Michael Gallup his Jamal Murray.
My guy.
As you talk about what they say they are and what they are, there's a great article on Blogging the Boys you guys put out yesterday. Tom Ryle and Roy White. I hope you tip them. The article is the narratives of the Cowboys that have changed in 2023. I want to ask the question, are the Cowboys who they say they are as they've been put together now? Are they headed in the direction that McCarthy said they were headed, where Stephen and Jerry wanted to be? Do you think the Cowboys are who they say they are, and have they changed any narratives to reflect that?
A year ago, a really popular term that they used was glass eater. They felt like, to be frank, they were too soft against the Niners in the wild card round at AT&T Stadium, and they did get tougher. I mean, they survived. They didn't just survive; they thrived in 5 games without Dak Prescott. That was impossible for this franchise.
Right.
I mean, did they win the Super Bowl? No, but they became a lot more tough mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever you want to say. And they pulled that off. I mean, they went to the playoff. We discussed all those things, like the playoffs back-to-back years, double-digit wins back-to-back years, etc. They won a playoff game. They literally retired the greatest football player of all time, who they had never beaten. They did it on the road, and then did a short week after. They wore their Navy jerseys on a grass field, like they flew in the eye of the storm, and they thrived. And so, I mean, I think a difference in terms of who they are versus Cowboys teams in the past is they're not walking around saying we won the Super Bowl or we're going to win the Super Bowl. They've just become this, call it blue collar, hardworking team. Like, we're going to be better. Like, it sounds lame and cliche and boring, but they really are just getting better one day after another. And they're more sustainable. They're more consistent. And, that's who they said they want to be.
I think it's adorable that you feel like on Tom Brady at 78 years old and his worst team ever, they ended his career. I think that's cute. That's real cute that you feel like the Cowboys, like
the last team he played.
That's real cute, RJ. RJ, that is such a reach.
You're giving Jamal Murray props for beating LeBron on the back 9 of his career too. I mean, so you can't have it both ways, buddy. I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna tip my cap to that. That was well played.
Served. You know what? Absolutely.
Rob, you know what? I'm tired of you always taking. You always take RJ's side.
No,
you know what?
This one.
You know why? Because this is like your baby. Like, this is your RJ's your Manu. You found him. You groomed him up. He became a Hall of Famer. So you always take his side.
Not always, because I disagree with what he just said.
Okay,
I don't think that the Cowboys need to prove, because McCarthy told us they're going to run the football. They're going to run the ball. We're going to be defensive.
I don't believe him, by the way, and I love
invested
McCarthy.
in the defense. I'll give them. They're going to have that kind of defense. I have not seen to this point that they have done anything to prove to me that this is going to be a first and second down. Let's pick up 8 yards somehow and get our quarterback in 3rd and 2 in every possible situation. I haven't seen that.
I would only say here that I agree with Rudy, and that I don't believe him. I don't believe McCarthy.
Okay.
I mean, McCarthy said we're gonna run the ball, and then a week later they cut Zeke.
Exactly.
I mean, so and so.
But they had to, RJ.
Where I think McCarthy is much more wise and more astute than people give him credit for, McCarthy knows who he works for. McCarthy knows how the Joneses built their football empire. McCarthy knows that his owners have a banner hanging in their building commemorating the NFL's all-time leading rusher that played for their team. So McCarthy knows what he has to say in public to get what he wants. And for what it's worth, if you are looking for ways that they, committed to running the ball, Luke Schoonmaker, their second-round pick. I mean, that's a high-priced premium resource. His strength is run blocking. I mean, they didn't draft any interior offensive linemen, but, I mean, they have talked all about different combinations and the way they can assemble the offensive line. Now the party line is our best 5, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, they have a plan. I just think that's where I think the narrative, for me, my narrative on them has changed. They are more deceptive. They are more discreet. They are not the team that literally shows you their draft board on the night of the draft and tells you about how smart they are. They have become functional and willing to kind of be humble in a lot of senses.
Do you agree with Dan Graziano of ESPN that the Dak deal gets done before the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, because it would be really irresponsible not to. I mean, it'd be reckless to not do it. You'd have to wind up paying more. I mean, at this point, it should get done before the Justin Herbert deal or the Joe Burrow deal. You already let Jalen Hurts. You already let Lamar Jackson beat you. I mean, Dak is better than either of those quarterbacks.
It drove his
I mean,
deal up, right?
It's simple math. It's simple supply and demand. And that's why you got to get this Trayvon Diggs deal done. You got to get CeeDee Lamb done, because we can all very firmly acknowledge that CeeDee Lamb is not better than Justin Jefferson. But when Justin Jefferson gets paid like he's Justin Jefferson, that is going to raise the market. And that's just, again, economics 101. I mean, it's not, you can call it fair, unfair, not whatever, but if you have what I need, I have to pay for it. Those are the rules.
Well
RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys stopping by for his weekly plans this weekend. Is it going to swing the clubs a little bit?
He's watching the PGA Championship like the rest of us.
Watching the PGA Championship on my phone. We're heading to Corpus for a day trip on Saturday to see some family. So we're gonna go to and from with the kid tomorrow. So that will be an interesting day where we get some use out of his iPad on the road.
Hell yeah,
and
absolutely.
then we'll kind of figure things out. And then Sunday, sit back, relax, PGA Championship, NBA playoffs all weekend. Watch Rudy's Nuggets. I know you're not a Spurs fan, Rudy. It's been a fun week. Look, Nuggets are a good team. I mean, you should be proud of your squad. I mean, I don't know why you're upset about it.
I agree.
I'm out. Man.
I agree with
I
RJ.
feel attacked.
Always a
As
pleasure,
always.
RJ, man.
My
Enjoy
dog,
the
I
road
love you, bro.
trip and stay safe, man. We will talk to you next week.
Hugs and kisses to everyone.
RJ
My
Ochoa
God.
of Blogging the Boys. That concludes his portion of the RJ Ochoa show. We will continue that by adding another R. It'll be R and R coming back
There
on
you
the
go.
other side. In the fullness that is the 8 o'clock hour, we'll look back at what we saw last night. Yep, Denver held on. They're 2-0. What can the Lakers do? And can Boston figure it out? We're going to talk some NBA for sure. Interesting news coming out of New Jersey as they have announced what they're going to be doing with the World Cup. Wonder how that affects the Texas compliment. And Brian Wright, the GM of your Spurs, speaks as to what they did and what they're going to do and how conservative they're actually going to be in the development of their wonder child that is named Victor. Lots to talk about. It won't be any fun unless you're with us. We'll be right back. Got a Sports Center we owe you. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Expectations of others are important, and everybody has them. People can have high expectations and even low ones of other people. We're happy when they're met and disappointed when they're not. But what about exceeding the expectations others might have of you? Could you show love to your spouse or kids more than they might expect? Could you be more congenial to coworkers or employees more than they might expect? Could you speak to others in courteous and considerate tones that they might not expect? There's an Old Testament proverb that says, "The one who loves a pure heart and who speaks with grace will have the king for a friend." A kind and gracious word is sometimes the very thing a person doesn't expect, and yet might be the very thing that changes their outlook on the rest of the day. And that's the one thing no one expects. This is Mark Afshin, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, hoping you exceed expectations today in a way that makes a positive difference in the life of another person. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-627-3604. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-627-3604. That's 800-627-3604. What do you have to lose? Call 800-627-3604. Again, 800-627-3604.
Power through every season with True Fuel, the ready-to-use engineered fuel for outdoor power equipment that lasts for years and provides true convenience, true performance, and true protection. True Fuel is ethanol-free and precision engineered to improve performance and extend the life of trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, and small generators. With True Fuel in the tank, you're always ready for yard work and everything Mother Nature decides to throw at you. True Fuel. Empower your equipment.
deep into the Himalayas, where I found the most enlightened person on earth. And I said, "What is the meaning of life?" They said back to me, "Do it at Mother's and save." That's right. You're the most enlightened person on earth when you bring your vehicle to Mother's Window Tint. We have stereos on sale. We have car alarms on sale. We have window tint on sale. Oh, Mother's Window Tint. You can find us in Austin and San Antonio and on the web. Mother's Window Tint since 1984. We make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Mother's Window Tint is located with 4 stores in San Antonio. So make sure you get to see us any Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Hello, I am Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. Since 1994, I have helped people injured in car, truck, and motorcycle collisions right here in San Antonio. I don't have a clever nickname. I'm not the law lion, the law gun, the hammer, or some other tool. I'm a practicing attorney. When your life is upended literally by a negligent driver, it can be overwhelming. Dealing with insurance companies is, in my opinion, intentionally complicated and frustrating. Why? The fewer dollars the insurance companies pay, the more they get to keep for themselves. You need an experienced attorney to help you make the best decisions for yourself and your family. And that's what I do. That is who I am. Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. I'm a phone call away, 210-900-0400. The call and the consultation are free with no obligations. My number again is 210-900-0400, or just remember, alawyer4us.com.
Grand slam, bomb, went yard, long ball, dinger. Do you even know what I'm talking about, Nigel? Croquet. Nigel, I'm talking about baseball. Courtroom plumbing and air conditioning is a lot like a baseball team. Should we wear cups, Joel? When a person has plumbing problems or their air conditioner just isn't cooling right, they can rely on our team to make the big plays. We hit it out of the park every time. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing and Air Conditioning, day or night, 651-5899.
Joel, should I start singing now? Take me out.
License
number M16004, TACLA 000743458.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
ESPN's Dan Graziano writes, it would be very surprising if Dak Prescott wasn't extended this offseason. That would knock down his 2024 cap figure, which is currently at about $60 million. Game 2 from Boston between the Heat and the Celtics is tonight. Leading that series 1-0 is the Heat. You can catch it over on San Antonio's ESPN 1250 starting at 7. And Pop, to coach or not to coach, doesn't have a contract just yet.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up, wake me up, wake up.
Rob Thompson,
Ginobili the other way in transition to the left-hand slam.
I want some nasty.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
That is Rudy J. Ready for the weekend. I am Rob Thompson, falling ass backwards into it. Easy E. Edwin Hafner, always living the weekend life. We hope you are as well.
My guy, how you holding up? You had a late night. You all right?
Doggies. We're halfway home, baby.
All right, so you got your reunion this weekend. You started last night, little meet and greet. What do you got? What's on the docket tonight?
The class of 1983 is inviting all the classes of South San Antonio West Campus High School, fondly remembered as West Campus High School, out to a celebration, a gathering of graduates at the 151 Salute.
So I see a nice nap in your future.
Oh my goodness.
So you can get geared up for the night.
It's gonna be a long one.
Hey dog, you got to turn the clock back to this weekend.
I know. It's going to be.
Come on now.
Now, when you see me on Monday, I'm going to look like Skeletor. Just like drawn and dried, just out, leathery.
You got a lot going on. You got a 200-pound dog at home. It's your reunion weekend.
Yeah, and the question was, as I went to the first meet and greet, I realized that the significant other portion of the weekend is going to be superfluous. That, if you bring your wife who doesn't know these folks or your husband, that they're just going to end up standing on the side, and there's going to be a bunch of, behind the scenes backstories,
Right.
private jokes. And I was curious, would it be wrong if I went home today and say, honey, tomorrow night, the sit down, when we gather officially, I want you there. I want to show you off, my baby. But tonight's about history.
The thing is, while it sounds awful, and I wouldn't advise it, but you know what I'm saying, dog. But Rob, what you're really trying to do, like, dude, you're not trying to be mean. You're just trying to save her from an awful time.
And
because if she really want to sit around and listen to you and your buddies tell the same 59 stories you've told her 117 times,
I can't imagine why you'd want to hear it. I really don't. Again,
it sounds awful saying, babe, stay home tonight.
It does.
It sounds awful.
Especially when you go back to high school and there's always the old flames that are floating around, and that's going to be fun to watch. Who's going to hook up? Who's the old couples that you never thought in high school they would ever find each other? But 40 years later, couple divorces gone.
How many high school sweethearts are still together? Did you see any last night?
I have no idea. Now,
you'll probably find out tonight.
I'm trying to think of the ones that I do know that stayed together.
That made it 40 years.
Now, you know what? There are a few.
Okay.
Now, they might not have gotten married initially out of high school, but have been together, that they did go to high school. That I can think of two right off the top of my head. They're in the vast minority.
That's insane.
Can you imagine?
No,
I can't either because
not at all.
I'm eager to see my past.
So how are you gonna handle the day when you walk home, when you get home because your wife's off? What are you gonna say?
I don't know exactly, because I have see the problem is, Rudy. There's one, and here's the rest of the story.
Okay,
I haven't spoken to her since I left for last night. When I got home,
she was knocked out.
She was already asleep, and really didn't have any reason to be, because she doesn't work on Friday.
You haven't sent a good morning text? You're supposed to send a good morning, love.
I texted her my intestinal issues. But I forgot. I just realized I didn't say good morning. I just texted her like at 5 a.m. like, oh my God, I feel awful. No, I should have probably said good morning first.
No,
so she might not want to go with me.
But you got to invite. Dude.
I'm not going to not invite, but I will tell her. No, I can't. You can't even say, baby.
Because then it makes it seem like you're trying to not get her to go.
If we get there, don't cramp my style. No, you know what I mean? Like when we get there, I'm going to be really social and I'm going to be bouncing around. I want you to stand behind me and to my right. And then if I need you, I'll call you. No, I can't do that. So I don't know how I'm going to handle this.
A reunion sucks for you because it doesn't suck for you, but you're the person that everybody remembers because you were a public figure.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been.
A little bit.
I have not been to a reunion as a radio personality. The last reunion I went to, I was not in the business.
You were in Orlando at that time?
I didn't. The last time I think I made my 20th. So 20 years ago.
Yeah, I got you.
I was maybe kind of getting into radio, but I don't think you know what I mean? I don't think I've never been notable for that. I don't think I'm notable for anything. But yeah, I guess it's kind of different. The great thing about a reunion for me is I can't wait to see the guy that I vaguely remember that went out and was wildly successful. You know,
I want to run into a couple million. If I go, what's the point of going if you don't run into somebody that's turned around and made millions?
Yeah, I want somebody to shock the hell out of me.
Me too.
Like, holy crap, you did that. You invented the magnetic strip on the back of credit cards. Who'd have thought? I mean, I want that story. Now, we do have one. There's one of my dearest friends who's gone on and been wildly successful. And it's not a surprise.
Can you say what he does? You
have to say he's in computer security.
Oh,
he went into the Air Force out of high school and has done wonderfully. Now, I've stayed close to him. It's not a surprise, but I hope I run into some other guys that have really, surprised, because we're a little high school down on the southwest side of town, not a memorable place at all. And the success stories that have come out of it, I hope to see Devin Brown there tonight. He's part of the graduating groups that kind of float around.
He just went in the Hall of Fame.
So, talk about notable. He is the notable out of the high school. He would arrive as a conquering hero.
Yeah, almost cuss. He has a ring.
Yes, he does. And you know what? The dude made more money than any of us and still didn't have to buy a drink or anything.
You know what? There's your millionaire right there.
There it is. So, Devin, open invite. Come out and hang with us, the little folks around there, as you are now a Hall of Fame jacket wearer.
My 30 years coming up in 25. I might go. But again, I when I get the requests on Facebook, I accept most people because I'm voting. I want as many guys as possible. So I'll go to the profile and then I'll see Roosevelt and then I'll see mutual friends 30. And I'm like, I don't remember you.
Well, you went to a
Not
much
even
bigger high school, though.
But okay, yeah, because I don't remember, man. I remember maybe 100 people.
You know, coming up
50, 100, if that many. I might be doing too much.
And back in my day, Rudy,
right?
Back in the day, every high school in San Antonio was as big as you could be. There were no small high schools except for us. We were a small. We were a 3 and 4A school when everybody else was 4A. We were 3A, and when everybody was 5A, we were 4A. And there might have been only one other school in San Antonio of our size, so we were forced to go play Uvalde and Fredericksburg and head out of town because we were a small high school. So we don't have a huge graduating class like you would expect most of the San Antonio high schools. So I know just about everybody. I mean, I know them by face, but it's been 40 years is my worry.
Dude, I don't remember anybody. I just roll with it, and then I'm like, oh, they're married
now,
to such and such.
We do have one, and then there's the guys that come back that have changed their name.
Guys that
in high school, I was Robert.
Like Ocho Cinco?
Well, like there's one who I knew him by one name, and the last time I saw him, he was going by an entirely different name, and I go, "Is that a middle name?" He's like, "No."
Who changed? So you mean to tell me there's people that change their name that aren't famous? I didn't know that.
No, he left, had one name, came back with a different name, different first name.
Still male?
No, it's still a dude.
Okay,
but he had one name,
yeah.
and he's kept his last name. He didn't like become like World Free. He didn't, or Meta World Quest or whatever. He just changed his name from like Joe to Doug. It was just like a random kind of change. You're like, well, your other name was pretty good. I didn't know. Why'd you change it?
So I wouldn't want to do that to my mom. My mom would be mad if I woke up and called her and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm not Rudy anymore. I'm Trevasio."
Yeah, I've always kind of appreciated it.
I always wanted to be Trevasio, Mom.
So I would like for you to call me that. I identify.
It says Devin Brown shows up a lot to play the alumni game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Gonzalez on YouTube. Shout out to our YouTube.
No, Devin has gone back and helped out the school. He's coached down at South San, helped some guys out. So Devin's been very active, and I'd like to see him. I missed him last Saturday out at the Hall of Fame.
That's
induction.
right.
But they'll be out there. It's at the 151 Saloon. Out on 151.
Now, are y'all gonna do the Sunday Fun Day? Y'all gonna do brunch and drink bottomless mimosas?
If I'm capable, my God.
Like you gotta get some hoop. Like Rob, let me tell you this. Hold on, this is what I want you to do, dog.
You want a bunch of 50-year-old West Campus graduates sitting around with a hookah in their mouth?
Rob, I want you to do a Sunday Fun Day, and I want you to tell them, hey man, bring me an orange and apricot hookah, and I want you to just not for really because you want to do it. I just want to see
what they all
reaction.
look at me like. Yeah, that's about right, Rob.
So
that's about right.
I want you to find you a Sunday spot and order a hookah just to reach people's reactions.
And the next thing, will it live up to the legend that we've all created from our high school? You know what?
So you found out I
was sitting around a table, and in every instance, I was viewed as the instigator, and like, well, we wouldn't have done it, but for Rob did this, or that, Rob. I was like, my memory of these nights is entirely different.
So you were that guy.
I don't think I was, but I think they're trying to deflect and like blame the idiocy on me. And I'm like, that wasn't me. That was somebody else that did that.
Rob, if it was one person, Rob, I'd be like, maybe you're onto something. But the fact that it's 3 or 4 people telling you you were the beer run guy or whatever the case.
Turns out I had a reputation I did not know I had.
Well, it's been 40 years. You're not supposed to remember.
So has it grown? And do I need to dispel? I was not that guy.
I would blow it up.
I don't think I want to be that guy. I don't want to be remembered. And that's the other thing.
You don't want my wife. You don't want
to
be Biff.
See, that's my fear. My wife's going to find out that I was Biff.
Edwin, do you know who Biff is?
No.
You've never watched Back to the Future?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Biff,
okay.
I was about to say Get Out.
You should have just said Back to the Future.
But
see,
all right.
Yeah, it's a different era.
Different. He's 27.
It's an entirely different era.
I've been out of school older than you are. What year were you born?
96.
Okay, I graduated in 95. I hate you.
I have underwear older than that.
Wow. And there must be Under Armour.
Well,
Under Armour draws last forever. Shout out to Under Armour.
Their church tone is
okay.
Holier than thou. Brian Wright is the new, well, he's not new.
No, he's been there a while.
A couple years now.
A few years.
The current general manager. And when you get the number one pick, you're certainly going to look good. But what was still is the Spurs have a penchant, if you would like, for Victor. For international players,
was that French?
Penchant. For international players, I Googled international players for the Spurs, and I pulled up an article. San Antonio Spurs, half their roster born internationally. It's an article from 2013. The more they've changed, the more they've stayed the same. Pop has a type, and Victor fits it. We're going to talk about that. The brand new nest that we are creating for this young eagle that is Wemby, and this player performance, or whatever they're calling, building that's coming up there behind Fiesta, Texas, and what went on after the drawing. Brian Wright speaks. We listen. That's next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the weekend. It's time to go and get your beer. It's time to go get your liquor. It's time to go get your wine. It's time to go get your cigars. And I can't think of a better place to do that than Texas Cheer Liquor. They have 9 locations, 8 in San Antonio, 1 out there in Bernie in the Cordillera Ranch. And out there in Bernie, they do those margaritas to go with the extra shot. So if you're in that Bernie area, stop by there. This way you don't have to pull out the margarita machine and get all that stuff. Go buy Texas Cheer Liquor and pay for that convenience from Texas Cheer Liquor number 5. Get you a margarita to go. Let them know I sent you. Also, you can get online ordering and delivery options at TexasCheerLiquor.com. This way you can enjoy your favorite libations from the comfort of your home. So if it's almost Memorial Day weekend, it's time to get stocked up. Go buy Texas Cheer Liquor today. Your backyard barbecue, dinner party, or just looking to unwind, Texas Cheer Liquor has you covered. And don't forget, next Friday, May 26th, Texas Cheer Liquor number 1 is going to lay host to the Blitz. Jason and Joe will be out there. It's going to be a good time. Always some good tastings. Always some good bourbons and good stuff. When Jason and Joe come through, AD at Texas Cheer Liquor pulls out the good stuff. So stop by Texas Cheer Liquor number 1. That's at Petrenko, past 211. Texas Cheer Liquor, the best selection and service in the Lone Star State, because it's not just cheers, it's Texas Cheer.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe today at 3.
Former San Antonio Spur and NBA champ Danny Green will join us on the Blitz at 4:30, talking NBA playoffs and Wemby. We'll talk Cowboys with John Machota from The Athletic at 5:30. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live life to the fullest. You hear it all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's James Pledger with 941 San Antonio Sports Star, and QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life and providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing so in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, hips, shoulders, or back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. And best of all, you walk into the office and then right out after treatment. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to play golf again, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family? Whatever it is, don't wait another day. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
It's patio season, so get over to the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road to enjoy the great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, and the kitchen is open late until 2 a.m. every day. Add the Roo Pub into your lunch rotation with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. You know there is no better place to watch a game, and they always have all the fights. The Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
Hello, I am Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. Since 1994, I have helped people injured in car, truck, and motorcycle collisions right here in San Antonio. I don't have a clever nickname. I'm not the law lion, the law gun, the hammer, or some other tool. Practicing attorney. When your life is upended literally by a negligent driver, it can be overwhelming. Dealing with insurance companies is, in my opinion, intentionally complicated and frustrating. Why? The fewer dollars the insurance companies pay, the more they get to keep for themselves. You need an experienced attorney to help you make the best decisions for yourself and your family. And that's what I do. That is who I am. Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. I'm a phone call away, 210-900-0400. The call and the consultation are free with no obligations. My number again is 210-900-0400, or just remember, alawyerforus.com.
This Saturday at Dive Bar, 6422 Babcock. It's Tejano Saturday, featuring live music with Los Chicanos starting at 6. Enjoy $4 Cheetos, $5 Jameson, $3 Bud Light, and $4 domestics. Plus, the kitchen's open till midnight. Dive Bar, a free rides venue.
After 21 years of gun shows in Live Oak, this is the final weekend at the Hilton Garden Inn on Pat Booker in Live Oak. Texas gun shows featuring guns, knives, military collectibles, ammunition, and much more. Now through Sunday at the Hilton Garden Inn on Pat Booker Road in Live Oak.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're glad you're with us over on 94.1. Rudy, hey, by the way, if you're not watching us on YouTube, what are you doing? Get your device, go there, link, talk to us that way. It's an easy way to communicate with us. We have it up all the time. You can also talk with us via our Kia Bassa Smoke Meat phone line, 656-377-6656 ESPN.
When you go to YouTube, SA Sports Star, subscribe. This way you get the alerts when all your shows come on.
Yeah, pop on there. That
subscribe, man.
What are you doing?
What the hell?
Brian Wright is a hero.
Wait a minute.
He will go down in the Spurs annals as the general manager that gets to draft the next.
Well, according to him, they don't know who they're drafting just yet.
I mean, but if we go by what the past has showed us, and it continues to manifest itself, the Spurs have a type of player, and that type of player is not coached in the American way, that they are brought up in a different style. They learn basketball a different way than most American basketball players do. They have a type. Brian spoke to their past with international players, and it doesn't look like it's changed them this year.
The success of international players in the past, it's helped us understand things that we need to have in that environment to help them acclimate to the system, to the city, and all of those things. And so we learned a lot from our past, but we also have to learn a lot about what each individual needs, right? And what the last person needed 10, 15, 20 years ago, the next generation may need something completely different, and leaving it open to truly understand who they are and what they need to be successful, and how do we go out and find that and add it to the program.
I don't think y'all understand the importance of what he just said. And this is what we talked about yesterday. What was good for Manu and Tony and Oberto ain't got nothing to do with what's going to be good for Wemby when they draft him. It is a new day. It is a new mindset. It is a new generation. And I am so glad that Brian Wright understands that, because one of the things that I said yesterday or the day after they got the pick was, don't try to make him a robot. Don't try to reinvent Tim Duncan. Don't try to let the kid be a kid. If he wants to do a podcast, let the damn kid do a podcast. If he wants to come on R&R in the morning once a week, let the kid come on R&R in the morning once a week. Get out of his way. Like, if you want to coach him, but let guys be who they're going to be. It is a new day. We don't have to be like Tim Duncan's not walking through that door. We don't have to try to reinvent that wheel. So, Brian, that is refreshing.
Well, that's the GM
that
speaking.
Scared me.
Well, what worries me about this is that's the GM speaking. That's not the coach. That's not the overarching personality that is the Spurs and Greg Popovich. Now, we've had 1 year of a different Pop
that understands.
But does he truly understand, or was that 1 year the intent was we're going to win 20 games No more. And to do that, I'm going to play those guys far more than my brain, than my history, than my associates would have ever let me play rookies. Things are different. But was it for a circumstance or was it a signpost change in attitude? I don't know yet.
Well, according to Mike Finger yesterday, he tweeted he was there to come by and talk with someone that knows Pop really well and mentioned how genuinely pleasant Pop has been to be around the last couple of years when the games haven't mattered.
So what we saw might not be what we see.
So I read
saying.
that because that's pretty much what you just said without even ever seeing that tweet.
Now, I do think that when you go through what you went through, 20 wins, you spent the last year losing 62 times.
Yeah.
That's rough. Most of it, you're getting kicked in the teeth. So it's easier to be a little bit kinder and gentler after you have been battered and beaten. But how do you fall back into your comfort zone when things get tough.
Yes.
Now, last year wasn't tough. It was hard, but it wasn't tough. It wasn't like we have to win. It was how do we manage not to? When it matters next year, when it really comes down to it, will he do what you're talking about? Will he let Wemby be Wemby? And I'm talking about a 19-year-old Wemby and make the mistakes and not overcoach or not undercoach.
I think he will. And as Haiti B says on YouTube, yes, this generation likes to work on their brand. That's good and bad. It's good because it's like, yeah, you got to let them be because you can keep them and retain them. But at the same time, they got to be working on their craft. But the thing is, Rob, the way I've seen some of these current Spurs move around the city, I'm not going to get into details. I'm not a snitch like that. It does seem they've loosened the reins some.
I will absolutely agree. It does seem like they've opened. And you know what? There's the irony of today as we talk about this. Danny Green's going to be on the Blitz today. Danny Green,
4:30.
When he was released, when he finally left the Spurs, he had a podcast, The Green Room, within 8 hours.
He started it on the plane to
Literally
Toronto.
On the plane out, The Green Room was released. That's the old Pop. Will we see a new Pop in the digital world and all that the young folks see that we never saw at that age? Will he change? I'm going to say the jury's out. I trust that it will. But when you come into a situation like this, you fall back on what you know.
Yeah, you know what though? Nah. You got to really think about it. He's changed his stripes a few times, as far as just like, winning titles in 3 different decades, you have to. But I'm talking about as far as, so that's on the court, Rudolph Gonzalez. That's on the court. And we ain't talking about on the court. We're talking about how you handle professional athletes in today's professional sports world.
Can Pop live with a Micah Parsons? Can Pop live with a guy that pops on the
Jerry
socials?
But I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you know what, Rob? That's a great question because Micah's out there.
And it's not, and it doesn't jibe. If he has a player like Wemby who comes with a European idea and might not jibe with Pop's beliefs and views, can they get along like that? And would he allow a player to go out and say something absolutely counter to the organization, counter to the league, and just say, well, that's Draymond being Draymond, as long as he shows up on time for practice and goes to the games.
We don't
and
give a damn.
Well, we used to give a damn. Pop does.
No, that's
give
what
a
I'm
damn.
saying.
But
hearing Brian Wright say that, again, I can't stress that enough. Him saying what was good for our former international players may not be good for what we're doing right now. Again, I think Rob hit it on the head. That's Brian Wright speaking. That's not Pop speaking. That's not RC speaking. That's Brian speaking. But at least somebody in the building understands that. That was so refreshing to hear.
Do you believe, and we got to break here in a second.
Okay,
do
let's
you
get out
believe
here.
at some point that there has been a conversation in a quiet alcove about this between Brian Wright, Will Hardy, Mitch Johnson, the GM and the youngsters in the building? Like, how's Pop? Do you feel like it's coming? Do you feel like he can do this and allow some freedom that he's never done before? Do you see it coming? Do you think there's been that kind of conversation?
Yes.
That'd be a difficult one to have.
Yes, it's happened. And I think a lot of it changed. A lot of it started to change. I think the beginning of the change was with LaMarcus Aldridge when he said after that first year and we found out that LaMarcus really was unhappy, wanted to trade it. Pop came to the podium, said, I admitted I handled him wrong. I tried to turn him into Kevin McHale instead of just getting out of his way. Now, Kawhi, I don't think there was anything they could do. He just wanted out.
Yeah.
But then so I think you kind of have to understand where you're at. Now, know for sure they've had those conversations. Not on the disrespectful way, like get him out of here, but you have to have those conversations. And that's why Brian Wright stressed that in that answer.
Because as he exits, as that shadow of Popovich still covers everybody now, more of that sunlight face, something that he wants, that he covets. I don't know, but it's coming.
Yeah,
it's
man.
coming.
It's a new day. But again, you do have to see. It's so hard, Rob, because I feel like while you got to give them their freedom, you also got to say, hey, you're responsible for billions. I heard Shaq say this the other day. Like, I don't think y'all understand when he was talking about Ja Morant. Like, he is responsible for $1 billion franchise. So the balance of, hey, I'm gonna give you the car, I'm gonna give you the keys to the car, but don't text and drive. Keep your seatbelt on. Don't have the music out. Don't be drinking and driving. So the balance of, okay, hey man, go do you, but hey, you're also responsible for $1 billion franchise. You better be in the gym as well. It's a really tough space to navigate, especially when you're talking about 12 young men, multimillionaires under the age of 23. 12 of them.
I call it the witchcraft of coaching, the art of coaching as opposed to the science.
Right.
It's that art, that nebulous area of how do you handle everything outside of the lines? I mean, because we know Pop, what goes on in the lines.
He's fine. No worries.
And I have no worries about, making Wemby something he's not. I don't think that's going to be a real issue. I do think that there's going to be some rough points because Wemby's going to want to handle the ball, and that's going to be totally counter to what he wants or what Pop's used to. But I do think that you brought up a valid point that we have seen proof in LaMarcus that he can adjust and maybe even counter to anything he believes. Like, you know what? I'm probably right on this, but I'm going to go with you because of the status that you have with the team. An interesting position that he finds himself. And as we look, he is not under contract. And there's lots of good coaches out there that would be more than happy to step in and have part of the lineage, have part of it.
Well, I think everybody, I think there's a number of players, Rob, and I think there's a number of coaches that will want this opportunity. But because Pop is in most circles, in most corners, regarded as the GOAT, if you're not going Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach, he's one of the GOATs. Nobody's really going to come out and say that. You can't come out and say that this is Pop's, this is his remote, this is his big piece of chicken. You can't say that, but trust me, there's not a coach out there that wouldn't take the phone call if you have a job or not. If the Spurs called you and said, hey, want some Wemby in your life? You want some baguettes in your life? Everybody would take that call. Now, that's a great point brought up on YouTube. Is Wemby a tweeter right now? Again, the international player is different.
I don't know if he is.
Yeah, they're a different type of player. But what I'm saying is, whoever said that on YouTube, whatever he is, just let him be.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
He is a European player, and the European vibe is very different than
way
the American
different
vibe.
than the AAU spoiled brat. I'm sorry, people.
So he will arrive with a bunch of new responsibilities, and the social media won't be just part of himself. It's his brand.
Right.
And he's going to have people around him like, you are not just Victor Wembanyama, the dude that's from outside of Paris. You are now Victor Wembanyama Incorporated. You are now so much bigger than you.
Great point.
And I think the responsibilities that he's going to have to acquire at that young age, you can't be successful unless you have complete buy-in with your team. You can't be. And we'll see that quick.
But see, the thing is, he already comes with a great work ethic.
Now, we do have to look to the future. Pop is not under contract, and there's I think every reasonable person listening can say in 4 years there will be another coach in front of the Spurs.
Are we sure?
I just feel like
sure.
Well, let's talk about the potential. He's not under contract now. He has the next, but there's a lot of guys floating around. Who should be the next? Who would you chase? I think that's a worthy conversation. Also, Pat McAfee is jumping ship.
Dude.
And getting a little bit of money. He's coming to the 4-letter network. If you haven't heard, we'll tell you why. And the ramifications of the biggest radio get is since, I guess, Dan Patrick leaving or Colin Cowherd leaving. This is as significant a business move in the talk sports world as we have seen in quite a long time. And it will affect you, the listener. We'll tell you what that means in just a couple of more minutes. But we're staying with the league. We'll look at what happened last night and talk Spurs potential coaches on the other side. Hang around with us. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
ESPN Dan Graziano writes, it'd be very surprising if Dak Prescott wasn't extended this offseason, and RJ Ochoa blogging The Voice said it'd be irresponsible with that 2024 cap figure at $60 million. Tonight on ESPN 1250 AM is Game 2, Boston versus the Heat. The Heat lead that series 1-0. And Longhorns junior guard Tyrese Hunter is returning for his 2023-2024 season.
It's time to play Stump the Experts, where today we'll try to stump Derek and Carlos, personal injury lawyers at Hilly & Solis, otherwise known as the Rexperts.
Hi, Harry. Fire away.
Carlos, how long after an accident do you have to file a personal injury lawsuit?
Well, Harry, there's a 2-year statute of limitations on filing.
Correcto, Rexpert man. Now, Derek, if a company goes bankrupt, can you still win and collect a big settlement?
You definitely can if the company had insurance.
Hey, guys, one more question. How do you like my new baby blue suit with matching shoes and belt?
Honestly, that should be illegal.
Hurt in a wreck? You need to call the Rexperts at Hilly & Solis Law. Millions in settlements and no BS. The Rexperts are former prosecutors who are comfortable in the courtroom, and the Rexperts don't get paid unless your settlement is secured. See if your crash could turn into cash with the Rexperts, your accident injury lawsuit experts.
Experts are the way to go. Call 446-5000.
Call 1-877-RECT.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Isn't it nice to get exactly what you want? Introducing the new My Plan from Verizon. Control what goes into your phone plan and what stays out of it. And now, get the amazing iPhone 14 Pro on us when you switch with Select Trade-in and Unlimited Plus. Get iPhone 14 Pro with My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line required. $200 Verizon e-gift card sent within 8 weeks with port-in. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions and additional terms apply.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
And now try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping,
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
for nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
Shiny and strong and healthy and hydrated. Your hair can do it all. So get to Ulta Beauty's gorgeous hair event happening now to see how you can take your hair to a whole new level. Discover beauty steals of 50% off must-haves from brands like Way and It's a 10. And explore exciting new arrivals from Lola V and Olaplex. These deals won't last long. So hurry. This event ends June 3rd. Shop store. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R here on San Antonio Sports Star. Jimenez and Spence will be busy today. The Blitz going to be in-house 3 to 7. Make sure you make them part of your sports viewing and listening day as they'll get you ready for a game tonight. Danny Green's going to be on with the Blitz.
Club Rio. I loved Danny Green. I used to fight San Antonio about Danny Green. Like, I'm talking about fight. Like, Rudy, he's terrible. Blah, 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 blah. He's a role player. He's supposed to suck some nights. My gosh.
No man understood his assignment better than Danny Green.
Danny Green, if they win 2013 final, he had a strong case for finals MVP. Strong case. They would have gave it to Tim. They wouldn't have did Tim like they did Steph and give it to Iguodala. They wouldn't have gave it to Danny, but he had a strong. He had that at that time, Rob. At that time, before that little bright skinned dude in Golden State came along, he had broken the NBA Finals record made 3-pointers. He did his job.
If I'm Jason, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to find out what Danny's plans after basketball, because he's the kind of guy that would make a great coach.
I've been seeing him on television.
Maybe that's his future, but I think my experience is the guys that had to work their ass off to go get something, whether to get into college or to get into the pros and to stay in the pros. Those guys are great coaches. And I think Danny has honed his craft to the point where, because he's so much better than he was coming out of North Carolina. And he was good, but he wasn't an NBA player by any stretch. And he turned himself into
one.
I think coaching should certainly be in his future if that's something that appeases him. Pop's coaching future isn't in doubt. I mean, he'll be back next year. But as you sit and you watch guys that you've kind of circled as potential futures, and we have a list of, from Nick Nurse, who's a champion, and Doc, who, he's a champion. He's still out there. Now, he ain't going to be ours, but he is floating around. Monty Williams has been a Spur in uniform. He's been a Spur in assistant. He's worked in our front office, and he's been a head coach of great repute up until the last game of each season that, has fundamentally changed who the Phoenix Suns are. Can you remember what Phoenix was when he got there? It was the Robert Sarver wasteland.
Well, remember, he took them over in the bubble and won 8 straight. And that's when it was they got off to that great start. That's when it all started.
So the commitment to team and family and that he brings to it, then there's the usual suspects and Coach Bud. And then you got Brett Brown, who's already back.
And then there's the youngster, Rob, Mitch Johnson,
who
you like
in the building.
And you're not saying anything against Mitch, but you just like this. It's like when the 16-year-old gets a Range Rover.
That's a lot to ask.
The Sweet 16. You know what I mean? Like, do we want to get Mitch, a part of the Spurs organization since 2016. He was a part of the 2018 G League championship with Derek White. So he has some experience. He understands the culture. But it's a lot to ask to get the biggest prospect in sports history.
I don't know.
For a first-time coach.
You'd have to wow the hell out of me.
Pop did it, but Pop wasn't young, but his first gig was getting Tim Duncan.
Remember, Spurs fans, and for those of you unaware, when the Spurs drafted Tim Duncan, the year before, we had a different head coach.
Bob Hill.
His name was Bob Hill, who won 50 games a year every year with David. We were a perennial playoff. I wouldn't say powerhouse, but we were a second, third round team every year. We were a very good, not great basketball team. And Pop fired that cat. Fired him and stepped in, and we didn't know who he was.
Mad.
Oh, we were all fear. Well, I don't think we were mad at the loss of Bob Hill, but we didn't know who this guy was because he showed up. He was general manager. He held David Robinson out, even though we all knew he was healthy enough to play. And tanking back then was kind of, That was
taboo.
unmanly.
It was
I mean,
taboo,
like
right.
that's something we don't talk about in polite circles, but we did. And he fired the dude who was hamstrung, and we all looked at this guy,
And
Greg
hired
Popovich,
himself
as an interloper. Like, dude, what a gig! Well, 25 years later, here we sit again, and it's hard to say you're too young when Pop was too young, and it worked out pretty good for him.
But now we're fine if with.
But
you know what? I got this message on Instagram, Rob. I want you to see if you agree with it. I got a message on Instagram that said, and this is probably why he will be here another 4 or 5 years, and we're fine with that. 3 or 4. Wemby wants Pop.
Yeah.
More than Pop wants Wemby.
That's entirely possible.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember who's been mentoring him.
Right.
Tony Parker, Boris Diaw, and they're constantly in your ear saying there's not a better guy that's for your career. So when you get that part of it, it's kind of like LaMarcus. Hey,
I will not leave as long as you're here.
You see what I'm saying? And I think even though Wemby, is only 19 years old, he's heard the stories. He's seen it. He's seen the tapes. He's seen the DVDs. He's seen the titles. And he already talked about wanting to win a title as soon as possible. So while we're sitting there, not us, but, while everybody's like, it's probably time to do something new. What if the star, we just talked about this last segment, do what your stars are asking you to do. And if the star, which is Wemby, is saying, I want Pop. Well, Pop, here's your parking space at the new practice facility. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just talked about this. And from all indications, it would seem outside looking in, Wemby would want to be under Pop's wing.
Now, I hadn't considered that side of things, but you're right. I think that was when we saw him, and I think we can all agree, wince when the Rockets' name was mentioned,
Rockets,
whether
right,
you felt
Rockets,
like you wanted or didn't want to go, there was obviously a thought about him. He thought something and it worked out or didn't, because he made it looked like he was mad that they didn't draft him, but I've been told he was happy. And if he was happy, remember Post, he talked about all of France wanted him to go to San Antonio. I mean, the country was like, we know NBA because of Tony P, and Tony Parker played for Greg Popovich. You need to go play there too. So there's the marketing aspect that I'm sure the Spurs organization looks at. We can sell a lot of jerseys over there, as long as we keep that fandom happy.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the video we're looking at, and I still see right. I don't know.
I think he was happy. Now
maybe.
I'm looking back at it, he looked happy that didn't happen. Like, ooh, okay.
I want to throw a
new
new name out here. I want to throw a new name out that is worthy of consideration. And I'm not just calling this. I found an article where this coach was compared to Phil
Jackson,
stepping in to the perfect situation.
Okay.
Steve Kerr. A year from now, Steve Kerr is under contract for another year. His general manager is about to exit for parts unknown. His center Draymond Green is making nice and planning for the next career. I see the end of this Golden State run and Steve Kerr, the preeminent former champ, right off of his comes home, at least kind of home, to take over. I don't think it's as crazy as it sounds.
No, I don't think it's crazy. My silence is out of damn. I didn't think about that. That my silence isn't like you're crazy. My silence is like,
now, does that make you happy? If I tell you Steve Kerr, do you joke? Oh yeah.
You know what, Rob?
I'm not sure it does.
It's unfair to every coach that has titles, because nobody wins titles without great players. But I think it's a fair question to ask, like, who is Steve without Steph? Who is Steve without Clay and Dre? Like, who is Steve Kerr as a coach without a Mark Jackson-led Golden State Warriors team that had already been broken down, already, made feel like, hey, this is where you got to play to win, and then come in and take over. Like, he did the same thing Pop did. He said the same thing Phil Jackson did to Doug Collins, so on and so forth. So who is Steve Kerr if he doesn't have the babyface assassin? But, I mean, you're getting Wemby.
It certainly does help.
You know what? I wouldn't be against that. I think that's a great predecessor, actually.
And but there's also the Jay Wrights of the world that are out there. And if you look at a very young basketball team,
I'd rather have Jay over Bill Self. I don't trust Bill Self. I don't trust Bill Self. But you know what I mean? Bill Self, I'm good on Bill Self. But Jay Wright, I love me some Jay Wright.
the potential is out there. We do expect at some point before the training camp begins that there will be an announcement that Greg Popovich has been given a series of 1 years or something like that. With I would like to think that there's some plan for at the end of his term that he goes into the administrative side or at least becomes a part owner. I can't imagine the world in San Antonio without Greg Popovich being part of it. And can you imagine a world where there's an R.C. Buford and there's not a Pop?
They are joined at the hip, right?
Certainly. They
made
certainly
history
are.
together.
We got a minute or two. You want to take a call?
Yeah, no, we got a few.
Appreciate so Smoke Meat phone lines. If you forgot them, it's 656-3776, 656-ESPN. One of the variety of ways that you can reach out to us. That's what Larry did. Welcome on the show, Larry. Who do you like for the next Spurs coach?
Hey, good morning. I don't know if y'all mentioned the name or not, but I think the absolute perfect setup would bring to bring Becky Hammond back.
Now, she's serving a little bit of a suspension right now. She's in timeout right now for being mean to one of her players.
She's got 2 game suspension, but she would, she knows the system. She's learned from Pop. She's ready. She just won a championship in the Ladies League. She would be a perfect solution to work with these young guys. If she doesn't get it, I truly think Monty Williams will. He's high on Pop's list as well.
You know what? I like both of those choices. Well, I'm gonna throw one more name out there, Manu.
Stop it.
Hey, you saw what he's been doing. I mean, he's kind of taking that Tim role now, as Tim decided, that he's been in the building. He's certainly.
You think Manu can coach?
You know what?
You could be.
Juwan Howard's done fine. I don't. It took a long time for some of the players to, be trusted to go coach. You don't have to be an expert with the X's and O's. You don't have to have a life spent building a theory of success that these coaches have. You can hire those guys, but if those 25-year-old guys listen to you, that's really 90% of the battle.
That's all that matters, right?
So I wouldn't throw it out there. I don't think like let's just put Mazzulla out there for Boston. I don't think that he's a bad coach, but I don't think he's got a lot of help guys around him. I think he's doing some things that maybe they should have a senior level kind of guy handling. I think there's too much on his plate. He's getting lambasted right now for not using timeouts. That's something an experienced coach would go, man, we got to stop the bleeding when we give up a 17-0 run. You need to call a timeout. I don't think he's been given that kind of help. But
that's hilarious.
As far as X's and O's, yeah, Monty could do that. You've been in practices under 18 different coaches over your life. You take a little bit from everybody and you kind of form who you are. You find out what has worked for you. And I think a lot of players can coach. It's the other stuff above and beyond sitting on the sideline that's the difficult part.
But again, the question goes back to, are any of the options that we've brought up better the option than Pop for this situation? How many people have been in this situation where you're getting what's supposed to be a generational talent and you're supposed to go and win a ring? Like, that's a different type of expectation. You got to remember, and then remember Pop's year that, in 99, Rob, he's almost about to get fired.
True. 99,
he's about to get fired, and they go on a hell of a run and go on to win the title. So it's a pressure cooker.
The idea of what the mentality of your player, because we talk about, you got to get a coach to maintain and grow this beautiful thing that is Victor Wembanyama. What LeBron, it didn't matter who coached him. He survived David Blatt, Tyronn Lue, Mike Brown. He had a bunch of different coaches. Didn't slow him down.
Silas too. No, was Silas? Does Silas ever coach him?
But I don't think Wemby has the force of personality that LeBron had. I think that's just a mentality of growing up in Akron rough, as opposed to being a, son of athletes, never really dealing with the kind of pressure that LeBron did. LeBron came in a diamond. He didn't have to be the charcoal pressed into the diamond. He was already there. I think Wemby's not quite the diamond yet.
I like that.
So I think coaching is far more important for Wemby than it was for LeBron. Let's go back to the Smoke Meat phone lines. Marco dialed him in. Welcome on the show. Who do you like as the next Spurs coach?
So a couple of guys that are available now, not to take over head coach right away, but
exactly
some Pop proteges like Coach Bud is available right now, and so is Monty Williams. Why don't we bring them in and have them back on the bench and just after Pop's done with in the next couple
you
3
know, they'd be
years.
sitting down next to Brett Brown, who's already back sitting on the bench.
Appreciate the phone call. This is what we have to remember, especially when we talk about Coach Bud. He has a title now. Okay, like I'm not saying that an assistant is beneath him, but the last thing on Bud's mind is coming back here and sitting behind the bench for Greg Popovich. There's Toronto's open. Phoenix is open. There's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers job is open. Like Coach Bud, I'm not saying he can do it, but that's far here and be Pop's defensive specialist again.
You know what? What a valid point.
He's a champion on his own.
Does he need to rehab his image? Because
Bud?
Does Bud need to rehab a little bit? Maybe he might need a year
to go into the Saban rehab.
Well, I look at it two ways. Now,
I got you.
If I want to frame Bud one way, he did with Giannis what we want whatever coach gets Wemby. I mean, he did. He took Giannis. He coveted him. He protected him. He went and got guys. They lost games, not purposely, but they saw the greater good, the long-term goal, and maybe a couple of games won here isn't that important. It's more about developing the player. He did it. He did it in the modern way with a guy that came in with not the same ballyhoo, certainly, but certainly the same kind of potential. And that would be something that I would certainly consider very important. And Bud, again, has done it.
Great point, Rob.
But
I just feel like right now, Coach Bud is a big dog. Regardless of how it ended, he's a big dog. He won a title in Milwaukee, okay? He's a big dog. He's not in a rush to come be somebody's defensive specialist.
And in your experience, when a coach is the heir apparent, the assistant, the associate head coach, they've been told by ownership and general managers, you're the next when this guy leaves. When has that ever worked? When has it been a real progression? Like he's our next. This guy, the coach played out his career, left, and that guy stepped in. That never works in my mind.
We tried it with Mac Brown.
Yeah, you think of those that he's the next guy. He's just waiting and he's learning.
Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniel.
It's always failed. It has always failed. Hey, we're going to continue talking the Spurs, and then there's not a lot of question about their head coach imminent, but there will be a change. We'll continue there. The Cowboys have a lot of money to spend. Where should they spend it? We'll look around the rest of the NBA and, of course, your calls. RJ Ochoa will be here, and if you have the opportunity to bet on a horse called National Treasure, should you?
Yes.
We are going to speak to it with our good friend Dick Girardi, our race expert. We're going to talk Preakness in just 15 minutes, but we owe you a sports center. You're going to get caught up next. This is R&R. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SA Card House. Attention poker players, whether you're a pro or whether you're just a Rudy or a Joe. They presenting to you the 100K in May giveaway. Every hour starting at 10 a.m. to midnight, May 1st through the 25th. 15 hot seats will be drawn per day for members who have more than 75 hours or 100 hours playing during that time of the promotion period. They're going to receive the multiplier, which is 75 hours equals 2 times the prize amount. 100 hours equals 5 times the prize amount. Now, that's for my expert poker players. You know who I'm talking to that understand that. But I also want to talk to my inexperienced poker players or my guys or my ladies who don't know anything about poker. SA Card House is the place for you. Mondays and Wednesdays, 6:35 is the free roll. You walk in there with $35, get your membership, $20 for your membership, $15 to play. The dealers are going to help you out. The other experienced poker players are going to help you out, and you can learn the game slowly but surely, just the way I did. And while you're there, you can stop and get yourself a little bite to eat. They got 3 5-star chefs in there and a full bar, one of the best old fashions you'll ever have. So from experience all the way to pros, I can't think of a better place for you to go check out than SA Card House. Clean, wholesome, inviting. Everybody's friendly. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. SA Card House, 281 in Bitters.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
Deep into the Himalayas, where I found the most enlightened person on earth. And I said, "What is the meaning of life?" They said back to me, "Do it at Mothers and Save." That's right. You're the most enlightened person on earth when you bring your vehicle to Mother's Window Tint. We have stereos on sale. We have car alarms on sale. We have window tint on sale. Oh, Mother's Window Tint. You can find us in Austin and San Antonio and on the web. Mother's Window Tint since 1984. We make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Mother's Window Tint is located with 4 stores in San Antonio. So make sure you get to see us any Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Remember, do it at Mother's and Save.
When you're drinking a frozen beverage from McDonald's, your brain may not like how refreshingly cold it is. But the rest of your body, oh yes, it's gonna relish every moment of it. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
There's no better way to cool down than with this cool deal. Get a medium frozen Coke, frozen Dr. Pepper, or frozen Fanta for just $1.79. Prices at participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's a race going on inside your body, and sometimes the bad guys, otherwise known as arthritis, get there first. That's when the joint pain kicks in.
Your healing process is just too slow and just can't catch up, and it needs just a little bit of help from QC Kinetics.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a QC Kinetics medical director.
We all know that you can heal yourself. If you get a cut, it heals on its own. Your joints are no different. We can take the healing properties from your blood, concentrate them down, and put them in the spot that you need the help. It's amazing. Your body can heal itself.
At QC Kinetics, that's called regenerative medicine. No surgery or steroids, just lasting relief, the natural way.
The fact that we can treat them without surgery, but using their own body's natural healing process, without medications, without steroids, without surgery, it's just amazing.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Your car wreck could mean compensation. Call the Rexperts now at 446-5000. 446-5000.
Experts are the way to go. Call 446-5000.
This is R&R in the morning.
I just want to go back to bed.
KTFM Floresville and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
ESPN Dan Graziano reports it'd be surprising if Dak Prescott wasn't extended this offseason. His 2024 cap figure currently sits at almost $60 million. Texas Longhorn junior guard Tyrese Hunter went to the combine and said, nope, I'm coming back to UT. And lastly, game 2 of Boston between the Boston and the Heat is tonight at 7. You can catch it on ESPN 1250.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up. So wake me up, wake up.
Rob Thompson.
Ginobili the other way in transition to the left hand slam. I want some nasty.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellence.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
It's R&R on a Friday. We're glad you're with us today. That's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. We're going till 10, but it's a full sporting day. Don't forget Jimenez and Spence get going at noon, and it will entertain you for the next several hours. The Blitz takes over as soon as the boys get off, as they hot bunk it, and we'll take you all the way till 7 o'clock today. And enjoy Jason Minix today, because he won't be here next week. He's due for a trip. He's going to Boston next week, right?
Oh yeah, he is.
So, and you get a Friday with Minix, it's worth it.
Oh, that's right. So Friday I'll be at Texas Cheer with Joe.
I would assume you should be.
I do double.
I think we should all be there. But enjoy it today. Danny Green's going to join the Blitz today and talk about, I'm sure, Pop and his future and Wimby and all that.
I hope they don't toss some softballs and say, hey, you know what? Is it difficult to play? Well, not play. Because my thing is, if you want to be a champion, you should want to be coached hard. So forget playing. Is it difficult to live within the Spurs culture?
Because he buckled. He bustled against the culture.
And the thing about it is, because he did go here and there, and you would see Danny out and about, Spurs fans, because we allowed the Spurs organization we took our lead from them. Mm-hmm. And if you were anything but at home,
how dare you,
playing video games, it was like, why is he going to the club? Because he's a grown-ass man paying his own damn bills. That's why he was going to Club Rio. Can't believe he even had to explain that crap to you people.
That's San Antonio.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just like, oh, he goes out. So damn what?
We were told.
No, I just want to know, is it tough to live in that culture? Because, Steven Jackson can't stop talking about how awful it was. But I love Pop. But as soon as they saw Kawhi hanging out with me, they got my ass out of there.
Well, that happened to everybody you've ever hung around with, Steve. I hate to break it to you, but even back in your Oak Hill Academy days, everybody said, you hanging with Steven Jackson? I don't know if that's a good idea.
So he told the story on his pod. He was like, so one day I'm leaving the gym, and Kawhi yells out, Stack, hold up, wait for me. Stack was like, after that day?
Nope.
The writing was on the wall. They were getting my ass out of there. Like, we ain't letting you. And lo and behold, Kawhi wanted to leave anyway, so it didn't end up mattering. But they weren't gonna let him hang with Steve.
The locker room.
Well, that's according to Steven Jackson.
No, it's
I don't know how true it is.
I guarantee you that's true. Are you kidding? You're not getting in that car with him, are you? Where's Uncle Dennis? Dennis, will you drive him home? Oh, crap. He did. Hey, let's talk Cowboys real quick.
Joe was out yesterday and today. He's doing that damn 3-day golf tournament.
Yeah.
Remember the Dominion? I think it's at the Dominion. White belts and all.
Poor guy.
That's right. Appreciate it, pledge.
Poor bastard.
Dude, Dominion tournament, 3 days. That's awesome.
RJ Ochoa will join us in about 20 minutes or so. In about 8 minutes, actually. We're going to be talking with Dick Girardi of betonline.ag. We're getting you ready for the Preakness. There's only 7 horses. You could wrap all kinds of stuff with this one. Dick's always great. And we will talk about the Preakness, the second leg of the Kentucky, or of the Triple Crown.
Only 7 horses, Rob?
Well, they had 8. We had a scratch. And I mean, I don't know. Why is there such a difference in the size of the field?
We're going to ask Girardi about
Lots of questions, and we'll fill your tab.
I would love to sit down. I've never gotten to speak. Have you ever had like a one-on-one with the jockey about their life and how they get down?
Not one. No.
I would love to talk to a jockey.
Those guys live an interesting life.
Like, it's an interesting diet. If you're a jockey, that's what God put you here for. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
As a larger man, yeah, I can't even imagine. Like,
so I can't win the Preakness if I got on.
It'd have to be a big ass horse. How fast could a Clydesdale run? Because that's the only horse I can get on.
So does the sport of horse racing fat shame?
I would assume that they are. You know what? They do, because you watch the beginning of the Kentucky Derby and all these races where those little dudes walk up and stand on the scale holding their saddles. And,
are you serious?
Yeah, they weigh them.
That is awful.
Well, I think it's not about.
I'm kidding.
No, I think it's about. There's a minimum weight load. I think you have.
Right.
If you're too thin, you put on weight. They put like weights on you, right?
Well, ask Girardi.
Lots of questions.
Well, some great questions.
If you're curious, National Treasure leads the way at 4-1. Bob Baffert, jockeyed by John Velasquez. We'll have Girardi here in just a minute. Cowboys have $16.7 million as we sit right now.
Okay.
I think there's some accounting tricks. It might end up being more. We'll ask RJ about that.
Yeah, if Dak Oh no! Once June 1st hits and the Zeke cut takes effect,
so they
could
add
add
like
a little
15,
bit more money. Yeah,
and then they're going to have to pay their rookies, which they've come to an agreement, but evidently that's not subtracted. But they have a little bit of money. Is at the end of the day the story.
Amen.
And if you had $16 million and you could play general manager and go get what the Cowboys need, I'm curious where you would go, because we talk a lot about running back. We talk a lot about tight end. We certainly still talk about wide receiver. They didn't really address offensive line as much as we thought they would in the draft. There's always a need for a linebacker. I mean, where would you spend the money?
I'm starting on offensive line depth and just leave them over there until I need them. Then I would probably go to the other side of the ball, the defensive line, and throw them over there until I needed them. And then maybe linebacker. I'd always. You can never have enough depth in the trenches.
Now, the available ages, one's out there. If you're just looking around, you can land yourself a pretty good running back.
Well,
Dalvin Cook might be free here in about a week.
Look at you. You know what happened to you, Rob? You've been Jerry.
I'm a shiny toy guy.
You want to splash. Like, even though they're doing everything right, you miss the glory days of some splash. You miss being the talk of the town.
I do.
You miss being the talk of the town because you wanted OBJ. Now you want Dalvin Cook. You wanted Bijan Robinson. You miss the sexy. But we all know championships aren't won with sexy.
I like to think I approach things like Jimmy Johnson did.
How is that?
I'll take a player. I'll take a player.
It don't matter.
I'll figure it out later. If a guy has proven to me that he can make a play and do something that other guys can't, I'll put up with a lot of crap. And that's me.
That's fair.
I like the shiny object.
You miss it because it's been a long time since they did the shiny shopping, Robin. You miss it. Your body, like, I need a splash. I need headlines. Like, I can't believe you've been Jerry.
Well, maybe I'm just saying we should expect this from Jerry because he hasn't gotten that guy yet.
Right.
Now, I don't believe that. I
don't think so either.
This isn't a splash move, but the reason I keep bringing up this guy, Dalvin Cook specifically, because if we're going to be what Mike McCarthy said we're going to be,
then
don't
that makes
they
sense.
need more of that?
No, they have Malik Davis.
There we have it.
I'm kidding.
We'll ask RJ
And Ronald
Ochoa
Jones.
about Malik Davis, and maybe he'll even remember Ronald Jones in just a couple minutes. But coming back, let's talk horse racing with our favorite guy, Dick Girardi, joins us next. We'll give you an idea how to win some money if you bet on a horse called Red Route 1. We'll talk about it next. You're on R&R. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Fours, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave. Spicy dill, Korean kimchi, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to a whole new level with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Get yours at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds. Has anyone seen Roger? Where's Roger? It's time to open the jewelry store.
Where is everyone?
Did they all take the day off?
At traditional jewelry stores everywhere, employees are quiet quitting and going to Diamonds Direct. Not just to work, but to shop. That's because even with employee discounts, Diamonds Direct offers all shoppers better selection and much better value. As a true direct importer of diamonds, Diamonds Direct has long-standing relationships deep in the world diamond industry, as well as the best diamond cutters across the globe, so they can say the quiet part out loud without the middleman markups. Diamonds Direct offers customers bigger, higher quality diamonds at a lower cost every day. Not to mention the best selection, the best customer service, best warranties, and best overall experience.
Hello.
Quiet quit paying too much for your diamonds. Go to Diamonds Direct. You won't be alone in how happy you are. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinagle. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate, 210-785-0994, or go online at stevensroofing.net.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hormones can affect everything: bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute Functional Approach to Your Hormone Problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Come to Generations Federal Credit Union for a great competitive rate on a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, pay off credit cards, renovate your home, and more. With flexible terms, fixed rates, and minimal closing costs. All with easy applications and fast local decisions. Apply today at Generations Federal Credit Union.
Rates and terms subject to approval and may change without notice. Full terms and conditions at mygenfcu.org/homeequity. Equal housing lender.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut. Connecticut, pure coincidence, but kind of cool, don't you think? I get hit with quirky quandaries and questionable catastrophes dealing with hard water calamities all the time. But I feel like King Canepa of Connecticut when I read the kind reviews from the Connecticut clients that love their Connecticut water system and no longer live in hard water calamity. Facts are, if you want to keep your appliances kicking and your kitchen clean and your skin kissable and your hair caressable and your entire home protected from crazy hard water crud, call me, Chris Canepa of Connecticut. For this month, you can save a caboodle of cash. We're closing out all of our current Connecticut models to make room for the new models, which means now is the absolute best time to save money on a Connecticut home water softener for your home. Schedule your free, no-obligation water analysis at 656 Pure or online at connecticutsa.com. Connecticut, 656 Pure.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz, starting at 3 o'clock today. Of course, we're talking a lot of NBA playoffs. In fact, we will do that with former Spur Danny Green. He will join us at 4:30. Plus, we'll talk Cowboys with John Machota at 5:30. Hey, Rob Rudy, you boys have a great weekend.
We plan on it, Jason, and I'm going to improve the quality of my weekend with a little bit of money from the Preakness. It's R&R in the morning. You're on San Antonio Sports Star. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. We are eager to make a little bit of money. When we play the ponies, we reach out to the good friend of ours, Dick Girardi, our horse racing expert and a fine basketball mind as well. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Joe. Or Dick, how you doing this morning, man? Before we get into the horses, tell us how great we are as San Antonio Spurs as we've landed the next and best.
You're the best, man. I mean, seriously, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and now Vector. Come on, man. That's the trifecta for the ages. I've seen more titles in San Antonio. That's great stuff.
Hey, we're glad you're with us today. As we get ready for the second in the Triple Crown race, this is a dumb question, but I have to ask, why is there such a drop-off in the number of horses from the Derby to the Preakness? Why is there just, I mean, that's a third of the horses.
Right. Two main reasons. One, everybody wants to run in the Derby, right? So if they qualify by the points, the owners feel obligated to go, even if their horse is going to be 40 or 50 to 1. So they go there, they fly there, they pay exorbitant rates for hotels, they pay insane rates for seats, they got to pay entry fees for their horses, and then their horse runs 15th, and they go, oh my God, we just blew 300,000 and we ran 15th. I don't think we're going to repeat this in Baltimore. So that's one of the reasons, right? The horses that just don't run any good, they don't go. And the second is a modern day horse racing deal is that very few horses at the top level of the sport run back in 2 weeks. The Triple Crown in that way is an anomaly. So it's happened more and more often in recent years, say in the last 10 or 15 years. But this is a one-off. This is the first time in 75 years we've only had one horse from the Derby run in the Preakness. Last time was 1948 with Citation. And that the reason then was because they were scared of running against Citation because he was insanely good. He won the Triple Crown. But yeah, this is more about those two things that I specified. But this is extremely unusual where we only have one.
Well, we still got a chance for a Triple Crown winner. Is there? I mean, however slight, is it worth the effort for Mage?
Yeah, but look, I think Mage, obviously he's the only horse that can win it. He's going to be a heavy favorite tomorrow after being 15-1 in the Derby. We've lost First Mission. We're down to only 7 horses now. And I can make a case that 3 of these 7 have absolutely no chance. So yeah, he's basically got to beat 3 other horses. And if he runs the same way he did in Kentucky 2 weeks ago, he's going to win. Horses, however, are not machines. They're not like Duncan. They don't always do the same thing game after game and championship after championship. So sometimes they don't have their best. So if Mage has something less than his best, then there's a couple of horses that could beat him tomorrow.
Joined by Dick Girardi at Bet Online. I want to talk about the money of horse racing, Dick, and explain to me what is. I don't know if it's considered a stud fee, but when you win the Kentucky Derby, what does the stud fee go to for said horse, or is it a different name? Is it not stud or mating fee? Whatever the case may be, you know where I'm coming from. How does that change?
I do. So, okay. Right. So at the end of Mage's career, whenever that might be, it could be the end of this year, next year, whenever, he will almost certainly be a stallion now that he's
stallion. There you go.
Right. So then what will happen is different farms and people will bid on the breeding rights and to see how much the owners of Mage will get for those rights. And they might want to keep some themselves. Like Flightline, who was the horse of the year in 2022, was just valued at numbers that are unprecedented in modern times. I don't think Mage is going to be that because he just doesn't have that kind of a pedigree. So it's about pedigree, race record, and then there becomes a value. Like Secretariat 50 years ago was valued at $6 million. At the time, that was like a crazy number 50 years ago. And he was Secretariat. Mage is probably worth in today's numbers, like maybe 20 or 30, something like that.
20, 30 what?
Million.
What?
Yeah. Because I mean that's just how inflation and everything else it's gone up over time. But there are stallions that are be a lot more valuable than Mage would be, unless of course he goes on to win the Preakness of the Belmont. Then the discussion changes and his value as a potential stallion goes way up.
Well, I'm sitting on betonline.ag right now. Let's talk about how we can make some money. And when we look at a small field, and you're already saying there's 3 that I can go ahead and cross out, and I assume you're talking about Coffee with Chris, Chase the Chaos, and Red Route 1, maybe. I'm trying to figure out what you don't like. But when you have a smaller package like this, it's a little bit easier to win some money, right?
It is. There's not as many potential combinations. So yeah, I don't like the 2, the 4, and the 6. So Chase the Chaos, Coffee with Chris, Perform is my other one. And I actually like National Treasure to win the race. Bob Baffert hasn't been in Triple Crown for a couple of years. We know that story. He was suspended, and all that stuff is now over. So I think he's coming. I think he's really coming looking to win and get his record 8 Preakness. So I like National Treasure to potentially upset Mage. And I'll give you guys an exacta. 1-5 National Treasure over Red Route 1. I think that's going to pay like 40 for 2, maybe.
Whoa.
And also a prop bet at Bet Online. I know you guys got all those.
We love prop bets. Yeah.
Everybody loves the prop bets. So I like the over/under on margin of victory. It's a length and a half. I like the over because I think if National Treasure wins, he's going to win good. I think he's going right to the front, keep going. But the good news on that bet is, let's say he doesn't win and Mage wins, but if he wins by more than like a length and a half, we still win the bet. So I like the over on a length and a half margin.
How's the weather?
Right today, it's great. It's 70 degrees. The last I looked, there was some discussion of some possible rain tomorrow, but I don't get the sense it's going to be around race time. So I think we should be okay.
So on a normal time, because I know it's freezing up there at the PGA Championship, would that change how you looked at the betting for this weekend, Dick?
Yeah, it might if we had like downpours and stuff like that, but just a little bit is not really going to change much. I mean, I don't, again, I don't anticipate that, but the weather people can tell you one thing. We've all been around, and then hey, it won't rain for a month, and then it rains the next day for. But I'm not getting the sense that's supposed to happen.
He is Dick Girardi. He's in Baltimore. He'll be headed to New York for the third of the Triple Count, and I'm sure we'll have you back then. Hey, man, stay safe. Win some money, man. We look forward to talking to you next time as we complete the Triple Crown.
Sounds good. Always great talking to you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Dick Girardi. And listen, he knows what he's speaking of. Go win some money. Go to betonline.ag right now. Throw some money around. The one I like.
Who you
the
like?
winner plus 1 point.
He gave you an exacta, too.
He did. It gave me a 1-5 exacta and bet the over and winning distance a little bit more than 1.5 links at a win. I like it.
How about you getting a horse that isn't even really that good turned into 20-30 million for you? See, I'm more interested in that side of it than I am because I'm not that huge on gambling. So I'm interested on seeing people put so much into a horse because you have no idea how much money they spend putting on these horses. And then all of a sudden you win the Kentucky Derby. And on the lower side, you run the 30 million.
Consider they can.
I mean, stud like it was a damn pit bull.
Well, I mean, they can stand in a barn for 15 years, and 30 million is easily attainable when you think about the lifetime of money coming in.
Because I've seen now they don't have to do the hind leg no more. They got the little machine to help old boy out.
That's the new guy job. When we come back, RJ Ochoa joins us. He's got his own show. You'll hear the intro next. Hang around with us. R&R in the morning continues with RJ next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
That job is awful.
Sports Center.
It would be very surprising if Dak Prescott wasn't extended in the offseason, according to Dan Graziano. He knocked that 2024 cap figure, which currently sits at $60 million. Texas Longhorn junior guard Tyrese Hunter is returning for his 2023-2024 season after going through the NBA draft process. And tonight, ESPN 12:50 a.m. Boston Heat gets going at 7.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercial.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day, and they're fun, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, buy a 5-quart jug and get a free STP Extended Life Oil Filter. That's right, free. Get started next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-627-3604. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-627-3604. That's 800-627-3604. What do you have to lose? Call 800-627-3604. Again, 800-627-3604.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What's going on in Jerry's world? What's the latest from Cowboy Camp? Find out right here, Friday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30 with the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Here's Robin Rudy.
It's the RJ Ochoa Show. We are the RJettes. Are we the what are like the Danettes? So that's who we are. I'd like to welcome on the show RJ Ochoa, the suit in charge, the potentate, the head guy.
The RJ Ochoa Show. I whatever. It's cool. How you doing, RJizzle?
Great to be with you guys. I guess I'm Mickey. One of you's Donald, and the other is Goofy.
There we go.
So you guys can kind of figure out who's who amongst yourselves.
It's pretty self-evident, I think. Nice shirt.
What is that? Oh, hey, hold on now. Now I'm checking everybody at the door. All right, I'm the bouncer. Even though I was never a Spurs fan until I got in the radio, but I'm the bouncer. So RJ Ochoa, for those that's not watching on YouTube, is wearing a Spurs shirt. Now, let me check your resume. How long you been a Spurs fan,
the bona fides.
I feel like this is a bit of a looking under my own.
It kind of is
own house sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I've worked Spurs games for this radio station.
Yeah. He has his bona fides.
Okay.
He's not a bandwagon type.
Hey, RJ. Everybody gets patted down.
Right. You're getting patted down.
Every male, turn around. Let me pat you down.
You went to the detective.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah.
Come on in. Grab your stuff out of the little cup. Grab your wallet and your phone. Come on in. You're in.
I'm not above admitting that this shirt went through a less common circulation than others over the last few years. But
it was at the bottom of the drawer.
Yeah, it's my excuse was it's black, and so my dog's hair gets on it.
Yeah,
that's why I don't wear it. You know what I mean?
Which is indeed a challenge, if that is in fact a real reason. I buy it having had a white dog.
I mean, we're talking about this. Of course, we join you to talk about Cowboys, but this is the biggest story in sports. Wembanyama being the best prospect of all time, according to Woj, in any pro sport. So we had to ask you about Victor Wemby.
Can
he play wide receiver?
I mean, if he could, watch out, CeeDee Lamb. But I think the biggest story is actually the Roop Hub. I mean, goodness gracious, y'all tore one on, it looked like, and T's and P's for the open
You mean our latest viral video?
Yeah, we're viral, by the way.
We went viral on that.
I know you did. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it 18 times
and
18 different places.
And every time I say it, I feel like one of the parents in the Geico commercial that I just bought a home and I've become old. We went viral, RJ.
You really did.
We actually did.
It was beautiful.
Let's talk some football real quick.
San Antonio.
We've got the collective Cowboy $16.7 million in the bank, itching to be spent. Where's it going to go?
Position. You don't have to go player. Let's go position. Give me the top 3 positions that you would spend the 16-7 if you were talking to Steve and Jerry.
It's worth mentioning, before I answer the question, that we're about 2 weeks away from June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some Zeke Elliott money coming too. Around the corner.
Oh, that's right.
So we're not even. I didn't know that wasn't counted into that. So there's like 26.
I mean, yeah, like it doesn't become available to you until after June 1st, because otherwise, you could manipulate the situation and whatever. But,
so there's more money in the bank than I thought. So with all of that,
I mean, they got to sign their rookie class. That's a handful, right? That's getting a Dairy Queen Blizzard and they turn it upside down. Like it's got.
Well, didn't they sign them all? Aren't they all in the boat?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it takes up cap space.
So the number that I bring up, 16.7, that doesn't include Zeke's money that is imminent, and it also doesn't include a little bit of money that's going out.
It depends how quickly they're processing their rookie contracts, but it doesn't include Zeke.
Okay,
that's the important thing. They do keep some for a rainy day, which sounds boring, but last year at training camp they signed, Kevontae Turpin, Anthony Barr, Brett Maher. 2 years ago at training camp, they signed Malik Hooker. So those things do develop.
Oh, good point.
If you do have to kind of throw it at a position, interior offensive line help, you know what I mean? That could surely be something. I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind seeing another wide receiver. If you do want another running back, they're going to forever tease the Zeke thing until it's not.
What about Dalvin Cook?
If he becomes available, I mean, that's the name. It's, you can miss me with that personally. I mean, we've gotten out of the wilderness, you know what I mean? Like we've left all the meetings and everything. Like we're finally free. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to chase the big name running back. I mean, last week everybody signed up for Deuce Vaughn jerseys, and now because Dalvin Cook might be available, we're all batting our eyes. But
it's funny, RJ. It's funny because that's why I love you, because there's just certain things about Cowboy Nation that drives you insane, and I love when they're under your skin. Because remember after the draft and everybody was mad about Mozzie, you were so pissed. And then now it seemed like Dalvin Cook, as soon as Rob said it, your body language just changed. Like, dude, don't talk to me about Dalvin Cook. Like, stop.
I mean, look, Dalvin is a talented runner, talented player, but let's relax, let's chill. Like, and we don't have to do the thing that we accuse everyone else of doing. Like, if and when Zeke signs with another team, that team's fan base is going to talk themselves into why this is a great idea. We don't have to do that with Dalvin Cook.
Right.
I mean, have you guys ever drafted Alexander Madison on any of your fantasy teams? No. That's the dude who the Vikings would rather have than Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so that's an important thing to consider. And I no disrespect to Alexander Madison, not Alexander Skarsgård, the guy buying Waystar Royco in concession. But anyway, I'm out on Dalvin Cook. I mean, there's really not a lot I think that is like massively going to happen with that. But I mean, they do still have a Trayvon Diggs deal to figure out. Not that will take up an enormous amount of current salary cap space, but they have that. They have CeeDee Lamb waiting in the wings. They still have to do a Dak Prescott extension if they're going to do that. Now, to be clear, the Dak extension would actually alleviate more salary cap space if they're going to do something else.
Right. But it would also show that they're committed to him, which you broke here. Well, not broke, but you were the first to bring it up on a anywhere that I could remember that, hey, if they do redo Dak, that gives them some commitment. If they didn't, that allowed them to wiggle out of that contract next year. Would you handle kicker like we handle fantasy kickers, RJ? Like, all right, it's your turn this week. next week it's your turn, or is it something that you feel like they need to address and really like lock down and get in the room and figure out, or let's just go fantasy on this thing?
I once spent like 30 minutes of an episode of The Blitz moaning and groaning about this. I wrote like a 1,300 word article a few years back about Dan Bailey. And obviously Dan Bailey was a great kicker, but Dan Bailey, as his career wore on, started to suffer back injuries. And my argument was that Dan Bailey's being used on kickoffs. Why are we doing that? How many points are scored on kickoffs? Like, why are you wasting Dan Bailey's energy on kickoffs? Why not handle that with someone else? We can, to your point, we can sit and joke and cast it off and say it's not a big deal, whatever. It's one of the very, very few, very precious positions that gets to score points. So it has to be treated with the utmost, like the team with the most points wins. You know what I mean? Like you can't be.
So you taking this serious? You think that? So then, then why haven't they signed Robbie Gould?
Right.
What's the holdup?
I mean, they need $17 million in salary cap space. You don't know how much Robbie Gould's asking for on the open market. I mean, that feels too obvious to not happen at this stage, at this juncture. But look at who they worked. John Fossil, or while John Fossil has been their special teams coordinator. In 2020, when he took over, he wanted his guy, Greg Zuerlein. He held on to him through 2021, compared him to Tiger Woods, compared him to Michael Jordan. That was stupid. That was dumb. Never made any sense. In 2022, people forget this time a year ago. Do y'all know who the Cowboys kicker was that we were guessing up and hyping up?
It was somebody that almost hit me in the face with
Maher?
a missed kick. I was at Cowboy camp, and he almost hit me in the face with a missed kick. I don't remember his name, though.
Well, the Cowboys did cut Greg Zuerlein or move on from Greg Zuerlein in the offseason last year, and toyed with bringing him back before the Jets scooped him up. They did not draft a kicker. Instead, they signed Jonathan Garibay out of Texas Tech in undrafted free agency, and that was the big plan. That was the big, all right, we got this. And then, he almost hit you in the face in Oxnard, and everything was falling apart, and they got Brett Maher back. I mean, I feel like a hypocrite here because I advocate for Brett. I mean, he had a horrible end of the season, but he was a very good kicker last year. But man, it was so dumb. It should not have worked out the way it did to bring him back. I mean, Brett Maher saved them. They treated that position with such cavalierness throughout the entire year, and it almost bit them in the face. They didn't lose because of their kicking situation, but you got to take this seriously. I mean, it is a position that scores points.
Well, then, Rob, I guess we'll stop. Go ahead.
When you talk about tight end, what exactly are we looking for? Consistency and comfort, or game-winning accuracy, guy that can go hit a 59-yarder to take their ass out of the fire? Because I feel like you can find a bunch of kickers that are going to hit just about all their 40-yarders and 89 to 95% of their extra points. And isn't that enough?
I don't remember his name, but the bad guy in the movie Tin Cup that Roy McAvoy is playing, like the loser that was his college teammate.
Tin Cup shooter McGee.
Right. So when they start off on Sunday at the U.S. Open on number one, he says right in the fairway, and Roy McAvoy, Kevin Costner's like, "Oh, you're playing for par," and the guy goes, "I'll take 18 of them all day long.
Yeah.
I'll take 18 pars for my kicker." That's a position, again, score points, but 18 pars is pretty solid. 18 pars is living a pretty high-priced, cushy life on the PGA Tour. So that's what I want from my kicker. I don't need you to be booting 60-yard field goals like Brett Maher. I just need consistency.
One of the tie-ins I had from the NBA playoffs, RJ, to the Cowboys is Jamal Murray had a fantastic season this year. He just went off last night. And what I wanted to remind Cowboy fan was earlier in the show was after he tore his ACL, the Denver Nuggets gave him an entire year plus playoffs off. Michael Gallup wasn't given that luxury. And I feel like, for me, two of my guys, I feel like Malik Davis is going to be a stud, but we'll save that for another day. Michael Gallup, I think, will return to who we saw that got him paid. And this whole receiver thing will be for nothing. And now he's also back in the situation. Remember when he had Amari and CD? That's when he flourished. I think he's going to be back in that position this year, not so much pressure. And I think Gallup's going to have a hell of a year.
Well, I think it's adorable that you think Malik Davis is going to go off.
You see, why are you going?
know.
You see, I knew we couldn't make it without fighting. Malik Davis is, hey, mark the tape.
The legend.
May 19th, 2023, 7:46 a.m. Rudy J and RJ disagreed on Malik Davis. When he has 1,100 yards next season, I'm going to bring this up. But back to Gallup.
Way to say the time, Rudy, because I think this segment replays. Way to break the fourth wall
damn.
for the next time.
Delete that, Edwin.
Anyway,
This is
we'll act as if. It's okay.
Pacific Standard.
I think that's fair. I mean, it was so bad last year that it can't
Right.
be that bad. So, and I think it's fair to say, you know, people say like, oh, he's more of a Robin than he is a Batman. Like, you're right. Like, he's not even a Robin. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
Like, you know, well, no, I mean, that's fine. You need three dudes. You know what I mean? Like, he's Chris Bosh, right? He needs LeBron and D Wade. Like,
You know what?
I'm
That
saying?
is a great application to what he is. He's Chris Bosh. You don't win without him, but you don't really realize he's on the field when he
Okay,
is.
so then admit that Jerry and Steven made a mistake then. If you feel that way about him and you think that less of him, then you got to come on there and say that Jerry and Steven made a mistake.
I don't think that's a mistake to be compared to Chris Bosh.
No, I'm talking about giving him the money.
I don't think that committing to Michael Gallup in a vacuum is a mistake, but I mean, I have spent and poured a lot of ink and it's a mistake. I mean, last year, the horses they bet on were Michael Gallup, like literally just fresh coming off of the torn ACL. It wasn't like it had been 3 months or 4 months. Like it had happened in week 17. It happened in the first week of January of 2022. That was the horse they bet on and spit in the horse of Amari Cooper, right? So that was dumb in and of itself. Then they bet on third-round rookie Jalen Tolbert and expected him to come in and be the Messiah. And then they bet on Jim Washington, who actually, I think, owns a horse.
Who?
So, I mean, like, those were the three dudes, but they were like, we got this. Watch. We're good. That was so dumb, and it blew up in their face. It was so bad that on Christmas Eve, when T.Y. Hilton made one catch, we freaked out and we lost our minds because we had, had our expectations.
It was 3rd and 30. I mean, I get it.
It was.
It was 3rd and 30.
I mean, but I like the comparison. I mean, Dak is obviously Jokic, and that makes, Michael Gallup his Jamal Murray.
My guy. As you talk about what they say they are and what they are, there's a great article on Blogging the Boys you guys put out yesterday. Tom Ryle and Roy White. I hope you tip them. The article is the narratives of the Cowboys that have changed in 2023. I want to ask the question, are the Cowboys who they say they are as they've been put together now? Are they headed in the direction that McCarthy said they were headed, or Stephen and Jerry wanted to be? Do you think the Cowboys are who they say they are, and have they changed any narratives to reflect that?
A year ago, a really popular term that they used was glass eater. They felt like, to be frank, they were too soft against the Niners in the wild card round at AT&T Stadium, and they did get tougher. I mean, they survived. They didn't just survive; they thrived in 5 games without Dak Prescott. That was impossible for this franchise.
Right.
I mean, did they win the Super Bowl? No, but they became a lot more tough mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever you want to say. And they pulled that off. I mean, they went to the playoff. We discussed all those things, like the playoffs back-to-back years, double-digit wins back-to-back years, et cetera. They won a playoff game. They literally retired the greatest football player of all time, who they had never beaten. They did it on the road, and then did a short week after. They wore their Navy jerseys on a grass field, like they flew in the eye of the storm, and they thrived. And so, I mean, I think a difference in terms of who they are versus Cowboys teams in the past is they're not walking around saying we won the Super Bowl or we're going to win the Super Bowl. They've just become this, call it blue collar, hardworking team. Like, we're going to be better. Like, it sounds lame and cliche and boring, but they really are just getting better one day after another. And they're more sustainable. They're more consistent. And, that's who they've said they want to be.
I think it's adorable that you feel like on Tom Brady at 78 years old and his worst team ever, they ended his career. I think that's cute. That's real cute that you feel like the Cowboys, like
the last team he played.
That's real cute, RJ. That is such a reach.
You're giving Jamal Murray props for beating LeBron on the back 9 of his career too. I mean, so you can't have it both ways, buddy. I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna tip my cap to that. That was
well
played.
served. You know what? Absolutely.
Rob, you know what? I'm tired of you
That
always
was
taking.
good.
You always take RJ's
No, but
side.
no,
you
not
know
on
what?
this one.
You know why? Because this is like your baby. Like this is your RJ's your Manu. You found him. You groomed him up. He became a Hall of Famer. So you always take his side.
Not always, because I disagree with what he just said.
Okay,
I don't
see?
think that the Cowboys need to prove, because McCarthy told us they're going to run the football. They're going to run the ball. We're going to be
I
defensive
don't believe
centric.
him, by the way, and I
they've
love
invested
McCarthy.
in the defense. I'll give them. They're going to have that kind of defense. I have not seen to this point that they have done anything to prove to me that this is going to be a first and second down. Let's pick up 8 yards somehow and get our quarterback in 3rd and 2 in every possible situation. I haven't seen that.
I would only say here that I agree with Rudy, and that I don't believe him. I don't believe McCarthy.
Okay.
I mean, McCarthy said we're gonna run the ball, and then a week later they cut deep.
Exactly.
I mean, so and so.
But they had to,
where
RJ.
Where I think McCarthy is much more wise and more astute than people give him credit for. McCarthy knows who he works for. McCarthy knows how the Joneses built their football empire. McCarthy knows that his owners have a banner hanging in their building commemorating the NFL's all-time leading rusher that played for their team. So McCarthy knows what he has to say in public to get what he wants. And for what it's worth, if you are looking for ways that they, committed to running the ball, Luke Schoonmaker, their second-round pick. I mean, that's a high-priced premium resource. His strength is run blocking. I mean, they didn't draft any interior offensive linemen, but, I mean, they have talked all about different combinations and ways they can assemble the offensive line. Now the party line is our best 5, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, they have a plan. I just think that's where I think the narrative, for me, my narrative on them has changed. They are more deceptive. They are more discreet. They are not the team that literally shows you their draft board on the night of the draft and tells you about how smart they are. They have become functional and willing to kind of be humble in a lot of sense.
Do you agree with Dan Graziano of ESPN that the Dak deal gets done before the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, because it would be really irresponsible not to. I mean, it'd be reckless to not do it. You'd have to wind up paying more. I mean, at this point, it should get done before the Justin Herbert deal or the Joe Burrow deal. You already let Jalen Hurts beat you. You already let Lamar Jackson beat you. I mean, those two deals, whether you think Dak is better than either of those quarterbacks.
It drove his deal up, right?
It's simple math. It's simple supply and demand. And that's why you got to get this Trayvon Diggs deal done. You got to get CeeDee Lamb done, because we can all very firmly acknowledge that CeeDee Lamb is not better than Justin Jefferson. But when Justin Jefferson gets paid like he's Justin Jefferson, that is going to raise the market. And that's just, again, economics 101. I mean, it's not, you can call it fair, unfair, not whatever, but if you have what I need, I have to pay for it. Those are the rules.
Well
RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys stopping by for his weekly plans this weekend. Is it going to swing the clubs a little bit?
He's watching the PGA Championship like the rest of us.
Watching the PGA Championship on my phone. We're heading to Corpus for a day trip on Saturday to see some family. So we're going to go to and from with the kid tomorrow. So that will be an interesting day where we get some use out of his iPad on the road.
Hell yeah,
and
absolutely.
then we'll kind of figure things out. And then Sunday, sit back, relax, PGA Championship, NBA playoffs all weekend. Watch Rudy's Nuggets. I know you're not a Spurs fan, Rudy. It's been a fun week. Look, Nuggets are a good team. I mean, you should be proud of your squad. I mean, I don't know why you're upset about it.
I agree.
I'm out. Man.
I agree with
I
RJ.
feel attacked.
Always a pleasure,
always.
RJ, man. Enjoy
My dog,
the
I
road
love you, bro.
trip and stay safe, man. We will talk to you next week.
Hugs and kisses to everyone.
Of course, RJ Ochoa, he of Blogging the Boys and Rock the Mic fame, stopping by. Well, it's not for his regular. We stopped by for his show, the RJ Ochoa.
It's the RJ Ochoa show.
So he says goodbye. The credits run. The R&R show begins anew right now. A couple things I want to. We appreciate RJ. I think that Dak's about to get re-signed, and I think it'll happen really fast.
They have to. Like RJ said, I think it'd be irresponsible not to hit the 2024 mark with a $60 million cap hit.
And they're racing against the clock, against the Joe Burrow clock.
Right, that too. Then there's that.
Get it done as fast as you can. I was sitting as RJ was talking about, I don't know what, sometimes I just phase out when RJ's talking. I'm kidding. I looked over. I saw a White Men Can Jump is in the. You can stream it this weekend.
I don't know, man. They redid House Party and it was trash, so I'm all skeptical.
I'm very concerned about this.
Me too.
Because
but
White
see,
Men Can Jump.
My daughter don't care though.
And yeah, that's a valid point. So Jack Harlow is playing the Woody Harrelson
And
role.
he's a rock star.
And who's playing the
Wesley Snipes
role?
A black dude?
Not anybody we know. Somebody.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Now I remember White Men Can Jump. Woody Harrelson had a little bit of game. Had a weird kind of jacked up jump shot.
Jack Harlow's supposed to, but I've seen clips of Jack Harlow playing. They don't really got no game.
He's the one. Now Harlow did those Kawhi commercials. That's the guy that did the commercials
Balance.
with the new. Okay, yeah. So but who was in the original? It was
Woody Harrelson, and Wesley Snipes.
It was Snipes. Snipes really didn't have the game, like legit game. That it didn't look like
he was a
knew
karate dude.
Yeah, you could tell he didn't move like a baller.
No.
Now and Wesley, I mean, and Woody Harrelson did. You
it
could
looked
tell
like he played a little
he'd
bit.
spent some time on a court, and if Snipes had ever played, he'd never been coached.
Yeah, Wesley's like a black belt. He ain't no hooper.
So the one thing they could improve upon is make sure the dudes that you've
Look
cast
like they can hoop
can actually play the game
and act.
Now, there is a broader question as to the name of the movie.
What is it?
White Men Can Jump. I have a problem with that.
Oh, you're offended?
I'm offended, and it shouldn't be out there.
You can be. In this day and age, you can be.
Okay,
Rob.
I got only a minute to tell this story.
Real quick.
I just read this, and it might be passing around. Asking for what is your lucky charm? Well, there was a lucky charm that brought the Wemby in, and it was R.C. Buford's blue chair. Back in 1997, as they sat for the lottery, R.C. was in his office sitting on a blue chair.
Wow.
They get Tim Duncan. After the draft, he sends the chair off with his daughter to go off to college, does not think of it, see it yet ever again. He arrives in Chicago for the draft. He opens his hotel room. That blue chair was sitting in his hotel room. His daughter had sent it along with a birthday card. There is indeed a lucky charm that needs to be shrined at wherever we put those posters and those statues.
We love his daughter then.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Rudy and I go check the tape, practice real hard. We'll see you on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
It's R&R in the morning